Okay. So now that we have recapped everything that we have learned so far, we need to understand that our mind can be in either of the two states. एक है जिसको हम कहते हैं सर्वाइवल मोड, दूसरा हम इसको कहते हैं क्रिएटिव मोड और द क्रिएशन मोड. When we are going, when we are doing a creative task such as drawing, writing a poetry or a book, creatively solving a problem, we are in the creative mode. Okay? So जब आप कुछ ऐसा करते हो जहां पे क्रिएटिविटी चाहिए, so you are in the creative mode. This can only happen when we are beyond the big three. You're disconnected from everything. That is why when you come early in the morning to the office and there is no disturbance, you are in the creation mode. There is no environmental disturbance. There is no emotion which is bothering you. You are neither in the past or the future. You are in the moment. Okay? And you are in the creative mode. And that is why you see, if you are early in the morning, you can do fantastic creative work. Okay? So, this is the way to actually make that happen, okay? To go beyond. However, most people are unable to be bigger than the environment, body, and time, and hence they are mostly in the survival mode. जब चोर मतलब लास्ट मिनट घर से निकलेंगे, लास्ट मिनट ऑफिस में पहुंचेंगे, लास्ट मिनट शुरू करेंगे, तो क्या होगा? हर जगह पे स्ट्रेस 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 स्ट्रेस, ऑब्सेसिंग आइदर ओवर द पास्ट or worried about the future. In either case, the stress response is triggered because we feel threatened. Our body feels as if there is some danger. Okay? Actually, danger तो कुछ है ही नहीं. कोई पीछे शेर लगा हुआ नहीं है, कोई पीछे डॉग भाग नहीं रहा हमारे पीछे, लेकिन हमारे ब्रेन को लगता है कि खतरा है. Now, because the brain feels you are in danger, it will create all the stress chemicals in the body. Okay? The biggest challenge is that humans are able to trigger the stress response just by a thought. सिर्फ एक सोच से आप स्ट्रेस रिस्पॉन्स को ट्रिगर कर सकते हो. अब क्या होगा, इसके बाद क्या होगा? कुछ ऐसा विचार अगर आप माइंड में लाते हो, इट कैन जनरेट अ स्ट्रेस रिस्पॉन्स इन द बॉडी. एनिमल्स में ऐसा नहीं होता है. एनिमल्स में, टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ अ डियर. अ डियर इज हैविंग ग्रास, आराम से खा रहा है. ओके, सडनली उसने डिटेक्ट किया कि देयर इज अ लायन व्हिच इज कमिंग. द डियर विल रन. ओके, it'll run so fast and it'll go out of the danger zone और मस्त वापस खाने शुरू कर देता है घास को. वो भूल जाता है कि शेर पीछे भी लगा हुआ था. So what happened? He was eating the grass. डेंजर आया तो उसने अपने स्ट्रेस रिस्पॉन्स को ऑन किया, भागा, और जैसे ही खतरा टल गया, बैक टू नॉर्मल. इंसान के साथ में ऐसा नहीं होता है. वो चलते ही रहता है यहाँ पे कहानी अंदर, constantly going on and on and on and on and on, because we are able to trigger our stress response through our thinking. Animals are not able to do that. Okay. Now what happens is, this is required when there is a real danger. Okay. So biggest challenge is that humans are able to trigger the stress response just by a thought, thinking about a person's behavior, bills to pay, projects to meet, deadlines to meet, and so on. All this basically creates a stress response within us. The thought could be a memory of the past or some predictable future. Now, when all this happens, your mind is in a stressful situation. And in the 21st century, you will find that most people are in a stressful situation at all times. Now, when that happens, where is the question of creation? जब हमारे पीछे एक भयानक कुत्ता दौड़ रहा है, तो उस समय प्लानिंग करने का टाइम है क्या? Can you sit down and say, oh, let the dog come behind me, let me sit down and plan what I want to do in my work now? You have to save yourself from the dog. Okay, it's not time to plan. It's not a time to come up with ideas or create something. It's a time to save your life. So if our brain is always in that situation, where is the time to create something new? We're just dealing with day-to-day situations and coming and, dealing with day-to-day stressful situations. It's not going to change anything, right? Because we're in the survival mode. Correct? Suppose पीछे शेर लगा हुआ है. Is this a time to create a baby? No. So this is the time to save yourself. That is why there are so many infertility issues today. I'm just talking about reality of the world today. Okay, why do people have to do all the IVF treatments and this treatments and that treatments? Because people are mostly in the stressful situation. There is no creation possible when people are in stress. Okay, so what's the solution? So stress response कैसे trigger होता है? देखो, ब्रेन में एक ऐसी सोच आई that is triggering the adrenaline glands. It is creating true stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. This is going in the bloodstream, and the bloodstream is then controlling all the organs. Blood pressure increases, sweating increases, fast breathing happens, accelerated heart rate, tunnel vision, digestion slows down. So all kind of digesting problems happen. Okay. So this is what happens when there is stress going on inside. That is why you see that most people have digestion problems, constipation, all the gas, this, that, all of this happens because the digestive system is not getting energy only.
So acidity will increase, sir.
Acidity increases. Yes, absolutely. All this happens because the digestive organs are not getting the energy which is required. सारी एनर्जी तो बाहर की प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करने में लग रहा है, तो हमारे बॉडी के ग्रोथ एंड रिपेयर के लिए टाइम कहाँ है? अंदर के काम के लिए एनर्जी बचती ही नहीं है, बिकॉज ऑल अवर एनर्जी इज गोइंग एंड डीलिंग विद द आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड. वेयर इज द टाइम टू डू इनसाइड वर्क? इनसाइड वर्क में क्या है? अपने बॉडी को ठीक करना, ग्रोथ एंड रिपेयर, creation, new idea generation. All of this happens only in the creative mode. Okay. So once the stress response is triggered over and over again, the cortisol and adrenaline are constantly pumped in the body, and now the body gets addicted to those emotions. Addiction हो जाता है body को. During that stress response, the body is prepped for dealing with a possible threat in the environment. Whenever there's danger, the body prepares us to deal with that situation. Like suppose there's a genuine dog running behind us, so we have to have a lot of energy to run away from that place. तो उसके लिए हमारे बॉडी को प्रेप करता है, एड्रेनलिन पुश करता है, कॉर्टिसोल पुश करता है, आपके हैंड्स में ताकत आएगी, आपके लेग्स के अंदर ताकत आएगी, सो दैट यू कैन रन. लेकिन अभी पीछे तो कोई डॉग है ही नहीं, फिर भी हमारे अंदर ये सब जनरेट हो रहा है. So this results in most energy being pushed to the extremities for flight or fight. या तो मारो या तो भागो, दोनों के लिए ताकत चाहिए. So this happening on an ongoing basis leads to breakdown in the body, as no organism is designed to live under emergency situation continuously. When we are constantly under that stressful situation, then the body starts to break down. बीमारियां, प्रॉब्लम्स, ये सब शुरू होता है because the body is not designed to be under stress all the time. It is designed to go into stress when there is a danger, and then it is supposed to come back to normal. Now, what does tapping do? When you do tapping every day, what happens? Can anybody tell me?
Releasing all the tensions.
You're releasing
That's
all the
release.
pressure. You're releasing.
Negatives.
Pardon me?
Releasing all the negatives of the mind.
Yes. So you're releasing all the negativity from the subconscious mind. धीरे धीरे वो कचरा अंदर से निकल रहा है. जैसे वो धीरे धीरे कचरा निकलेगा तो अभी वो ट्रिगर्स नहीं होगा जो रोज, जो कल मुझे ट्रिगर करता था जो चीजें, आज मुझे वही चीज ट्रिगर नहीं करेगी. So people who are doing tapping of all this entire group, have you noticed that your mind has calmed down a little? That the same environment is no longer triggering you the same way it used to trigger earlier? Happening or not happening?
Yeah.
Why is it happening? वातावरण में तो कुछ चेंज नहीं हुआ ना. Everything is the same. Office the same. People are the same. Everything is same. But your thinking is changing. Your reactions are changing. You are no longer reacting to those things because your mind has become free of those emotions. It is not triggering the way it used to trigger yesterday. And that is why doing these practices are so important. Imagine if you're just stressed. In a couple of years, the body burns out and we just fall sick and, get all the diseases and we're not able to create. Then what happens is we're not able to enjoy our success, right? We create success. But अगर हमारा body और mind उसको enjoy नहीं कर पाएगा तो what's the use then? So we just have to take some time every day to take care of ourselves. And that is called the inside approach. When you take care of yourself, then you have more energy left for growth and repair of your body. You have more energy left for creativity. Otherwise, all the energy is dissipated outside. Okay, जिसको हम प्राण शक्ति कहते हैं, जो शक्ति हमारे जीवन को चलाती है, जो हमें अलग सोच के लिए हमें हेल्प करती है, all that प्राण शक्ति is used only in dealing with stuff outside. Okay, हितेश भाई.
परफेक्ट परफेक्ट सर।
बराबर है ना? आप सुबह इतना मस्त जाते हो रोज चलने के लिए, तो कितना खुश रहते हो कि नहीं?
Absolutely tapping, gratitude, visualization, six hour process only.
So when you do these practices every day, you are able to do so much more beautiful work. भले आप कम टाइम भी निकालोगे, जितने भी टाइम आप निकालोगे काम में, your productivity performance goes to a new level. So it's worth investing that time in taking care of yourself. Okay. So animals are able to turn off the stress response and get back to normal, but we do not have this ability, and hence it lingers for a long time. Not lingers, it is lingers. स्ट्रेस अंदर चलते ही रहता है, चलते ही रहता है, चलते ही रहता है. हम अपने फैमिली के साथ में माइंड कहीं और है. बोल कुछ, वो कुछ बोल रहे हैं, हमारा दिमाग कहीं और चल रहा है. वी आर नॉट एबल टू बी इन द प्रेजेंट मोमेंट. Okay, to enjoy the moment with our families, with our work, with our colleagues in the office, whatever we are doing in the office. Okay, so if you are putting bulk of our energy towards some issue in the external environment, there will be very little left for your body's internal environment. The immune system, which monitors the inner world, cannot keep up due to shortage of energy for growth and repair. The immune system is not able to function the way it should function, and hence viral attacks and these kind of things happen. Okay. So we had a pandemic once and people understood the importance of health and all of that. Once the pandemic is gone, we're back to normal now. Look at humanity, we're back to normal. But if we are able to keep our immune systems in the right place, no virus can attack you. Kal corona ya kal kuch, God forbid something else comes, but your immune system is so strong that nothing can affect you. जाने दो, जिसको आने दो, no problem. So the fight flight mode uses up much of the vital energy, जिसको हम प्राण शक्ति कहते हैं, from the digestive, immune and endocrine systems, which creates hormones. So digestive system में से energy खींच लेता है, immune system में से खींच लेता है, endocrine system में से खींच लेता है, and directing them to the muscles to fight the and creating stress hormones. Overproduction of these hormones creates emotions of anger, fear, envy, hatred, frustration, anxiety, insecurity, pain, suffering, sadness, hopelessness, depression. जब एड्रेनलिन और कॉर्टिसोल बहुत ज्यादा पंप होता है, तो all these emotions are created, which are counterproductive. They're not beneficial to us at all. So living in survival mode causes us to focus on the 1% matter, 0.00001% matter, instead of the 99.99999999% reality. पूरा ब्रह्मांड में 99.999999% is energy which has information frequency from which you can create anything. लेकिन हमारा ध्यान कहाँ पे है? वो 0.0001% के ऊपर है. So we need to move from survival mode to creative mode, where you can literally create anything. With this, we become more focused on the outside, the things we own, the people we know, the things to do. ये सारी चीजों के ऊपर हमारा पूरा ध्यान रहता है, पूरा एनर्जी वहीं पे चले जाता है। ओके, मेरे पास गाड़ी, बंगला, पैसा, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, बट हमारा पूरा ध्यान 0.001% पे है। We need to shift it to the 99.999999% so that we can create magical results. So when we let go of the stress and get into elevated emotions, we get closer to the source. We get closer to that field, quantum field, becoming lighter and more connected to the universal intelligence. That is that is why you get wonderful ideas when your mind is calm and peaceful. Because you're connected to the intelligence. This happens typically when you're taking a nice shower, when you're in the bathroom, when you're taking a nice walk, you're going in the nature. तो आपकी creativity एकदम super high. Okay? So survival mode means living as a somebody. आपकी identity is created by what is in your life. Survival mode means I am somebody. Creative mode means I am nobody. Body है ही नहीं मेरा। तो आप एक शक्ति हो जो शक्ति कुछ भी क्रिएट कर सकती है। लेकिन जब मैं सर्वाइवल मोड में होता हूं तो मुझे लगता है कि मैं सिर्फ ये बॉडी हूं और मेरे आसपास जो है वो ही मेरा जीवन है और कुछ नहीं है। तो आई एम स्टक विद द 0.0000001% which keeps us in the same place all the time. Okay, are you all with me so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good
Sir,
one.
one thing.
Yes, question.
Yeah, sir, what if even if you're in a creative mode, but the environment around you is not allowing you to go into creative mode only?
A good question.
Something or the other is always pulling you. Even if you are there, something will. Even if you are doing something creative, the system around you, the environment around you doesn't allow you to go at creative mode only.
Correct. So now what is
वो
happening is
वो किक स्टार्ट ही होने नहीं देता है, वो हमेशा पुल डाउन ही करता रहता है। समथिंग और द अदर विल ऑलवेज पुल यू डाउन। फिर आप
agreed.
उसी में बॉक डाउन होकर पड़े रहते हो कि ऐसा ही है।
Agreed.
क्या
So
करें
now
उसमें?
what is happening is your thoughts are controlled by the environment.
No, our sir, it is other way I am saying. Our thoughts are not controlled, but environment is forcing us to think that way only.
हाँ,
We
बट
have no choice.
बॉटम लाइन तो वही हो गया ना कि वातावरण में जो है वैसे ही मेरी सोच हो जाती है।
तो सर वातावरण को छोड़ देंगे तो सिस्टम से बाहर हो जाएंगे।
वो कहीं नहीं, मैं कहा क्या, मैं आपको ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि आप जंगल में चले जाओ, मैं आपको ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ हिमालय में चले जाओ। वातावरण तब तक नहीं बदलेगा जब तक अंदर बदलाव नहीं आएगा। Right now, what you're saying is correct.
सर
I'm not challenging you, Anandji. What you are saying is correct. The environment is forcing you to think in a particular way, isn't it? That's what you're saying.
right.
Situations, circumstances are forcing to think, making it
Correct.
in a certain way. But if if it is forcing me to think in the same way, can change happen?
No, it will not happen.
So if I want to do that, then I have to go above the environment, not run away from the environment, above the environment. What is the meaning of going above the environment? Take some time in the day where you are disconnecting from the environment.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. वातावरण जो है उसी इसीलिए तो हमारे 95% थॉट सेम रहते हैं। उसमें बदलाव लाना है तो कुछ समय तो हमें निकालना होगा दिन में, जहां पे उस एनवायरनमेंट से हम पूरी तरह से डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए, अदरवाइज हमारी सोच में बदलाव आएगा ही नहीं।
Right, sir.
So the solution is that only disconnecting from that environment for some time in the day, and then go into the creative mode to create something new. When you create something new in your mind, you will see the environment shifting for you. You have to trust me on this. Okay, and again, it's not based on my thinking or my own research or anything. It is based on evidence which is supported all over the world now with people who are using this. Okay. जब अंदर बदलाव, उसको हमें डिस्कनेक्ट करके अंदर बदलाव लाना होगा। अंदर बदलाव आएगा तो आप देखोगे कि वही लोग, वही परिस्थिति अलग दिख रही है आपको। The way you respond to what is happening around you is going to be different. You're not reacting to what is happening around you. When you're not reacting, you are still in the creative mode. Chalo, let's take an example. Somebody does something which triggers me. Okay? किसी ने कुछ ऐसा कुछ किया जिसके वजह से मुझे गुस्सा आया। तो मैं क्या कहता हूं, उसके वजह से मुझे गुस्सा आया, उसने वो किया, इसके वजह से मुझे गुस्सा आया। नाउ टेल मी ऑनेस्टली, उसके वजह से गुस्सा आया या आपकी सोच के वजह से आपको गुस्सा आया? It's very
Because
important
of
to
our,
understand this. Hmm.
because of our response.
Because of our response. If somebody is doing anything, finally, what is my reaction? What am I thinking? If my thought is वापस वही किया, छोड़, अभी तो इसको छोड़ूंगा नहीं मैं. It's going to create a stress response. If the person is doing something and your thoughts are still, okay, I need to figure how to fix this situation now. This person is not changing at all. What should I do now? Should I train this person? Should I give him a warning? Should I tell him that this is it now? This will work, this will not work. So now you're in the creative mode. You're thinking of solutions on how to solve that problem. You see the difference between the two? Okay, so जैसे ही आपने ये कहा कि उसके वजह से मुझे ये हो रहा है, तो आपने अपनी शक्ति उसको दे दी। अब वो आपका रिमोट कंट्रोल प्रेस कर रहा है. He is controlling your remote, you remotely. He's pressing the button and we are, getting angry. He's pressing the button and we're getting stressed.
Hello.
Yes, Srikanth.
Only.
Okay. So basically the key is to not give our remote control to anybody else. And that requires practice. It's not going to happen just like that, okay? So when you don't give your remote control to anybody, then your state of mind is good and it is creative. And a creative mind can solve any problem. Okay, so for this, we just have to do certain daily practices and you will see gradually over a period of time that things don't really, it doesn't force you to react. Like you will be in the same traffic, okay? You are going in the morning in the same traffic, but you are no longer frustrated and irritated. You're just saying, okay, fine, let me make the best use of this time. So I'm going to listen to some music, I'll listen to an audiobook, I'll do something creative while I'm traveling in the same traffic jam. My response is different. Yes or no?
Yes.
Can you change the traffic? जो है वो तो है. लेकिन हमारा रिस्पॉन्स हम बदल सकते. You can be happy even in the same, traffic jam. And I'm telling you, when you are happy in that situation, you will use even that time very creatively. Like you want to make certain phone calls, you want to connect with some people, you want to connect with family. You do a whole lot of things even when you're in the stressful situation. Okay, so that's the difference between survival mode and creative mode. Now tell me, as a leader, you're all leaders, okay? As a leader, which will be a more beneficial mode, survival mode or creative mode? Because the role of the leader is to lead a team. अगर हम ही रिएक्ट करेंगे तो फिर टीम भी रिएक्ट करेगा. A leader's role is to create a vision. Okay, believe. I'll come to you 1 second, huh? and to inspire people to make things happen, right? That's the role of the leader. Have a vision and inspiring the team below to go beyond their boundaries to achieve what you have set as a goal. अगर हम ही स्ट्रेस हो जाएंगे तो हमारी सोच में परिवर्तन आएगा, सब कुछ होगा, तो वो करना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है। हो तो जाता है, किसी ना किसी तरह हम धक्का मार के कर लेते हैं, लेकिन समय ज्यादा लगता है, एनर्जी ज्यादा लगती है, कॉम्प्रोमाइज होता है, हमारे रिलेशनशिप्स में कॉम्प्रोमाइज होता है, हमारी हेल्थ में कॉम्प्रोमाइज होता है, नुकसान ही नुकसान है। टेल मी, एनीबडी एल्स हैड अ क्वेश्चन? Good, Anandji, very good questions. I want more questions like this so that you can understand the real situation, ना? नहीं तो वो theory रहेगा वो।
Right, sir.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि अभी इस सिचुएशन में जो लोग एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं कि ये स्ट्रेसफुल माइंड है या क्रिएटिव माइंड है, वो अभी एकदम क्लियर समझ में है। लेकिन जब आप उस सिचुएशन में एट दैट स्टेज, एट अ पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट, जब आप कोई वर्किंग करते रहते हो, तो उस टाइम पे आप किस मोड में हो समझ में नहीं आता। आप सर्वाइवल मोड में हो या क्रिएटिव मोड में हो, यू विल बी इन दैट सिचुएशन ओनली, यू विल एक्ट at the moment where you are there. You will not understand your mind is where, whether it is in creative mind or it is in stressful mind. So
That
how
is
we can
because
realize it at that moment कि बॉस अभी इस मोड पे हो, सर्वाइवल रुक के अपन क्रिएटिव की तरफ चले।
तो हमें
तो
वो
ऐसा
एक्चुअली उस टाइम पे सोचने की जरूरत नहीं कि मैं इस मोड में हूं क्या उस मोड में, बट द अवेयरनेस इज व्हाट विल ब्रिंग अबाउट द चेंज। यू आर अवेयर। अवेयर मतलब मेरे साथ अभी ये हो रहा है, तो अवेयरनेस में होंगे तो हम कुछ शिफ्ट ला सकते हैं। अगर अवेयरनेस नहीं होगा तो वील जस्ट रिएक्ट, वील ब्लास्ट आउट। समबडी डज समथिंग टू मी, हमारा अंदर का सिस्टम क्या बोलेगा? हाउ डेयर यू, मैं भी दिखाता हूं मैं कौन हूं। ये ऑटोमेटिक होता है, वी आर नॉट थिंकिंग लाइक दिस। कोई कुछ बोलेगा तो हमारा अंदर का रिस्पॉन्स मैकेनिज्म तैयार होता है रिएक्ट करने के लिए। लेकिन जब आपने अपने रिस्पॉन्स मैकेनिज्म को ट्रेन कर दिया है, तो व्हेन समबडी इज डूइंग समथिंग इन द एनवायरनमेंट, यू आर वेरी अवेयर। उसकी ये चीज के वजह से मेरे अंदर ये हो रहा है, डू आई रियली नीड टू गो देयर और डू आई नीड टू बी हियर? That control you will have at that point when you do these practices on a daily basis. You will understand कि आप, इसको कहते हैं अवेयरनेस। अवेयरनेस मतलब उस क्षण में मेरे साथ क्या हो रहा है, इसकी समझ। तो जब आप पूरी तरह से अवेयर हो तो आपके पास चॉइस है, शुड आई गेट एंग्री और शुड आई स्टे दिस वे। व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज करेक्ट। दिस टिपिकली हैपेंस when we don't have awareness of what is going on. So now the environment is controlling me.
Sir, Anand here.
Yes, yes, Anand ji.
Sir, what I understand is the actions which we are doing day to day, they all are in survival mode. But at the same time, the stress should not be here in our mind. So that any time we can change our guard and go to the this creative mode.
Correct.
अगर हम लोग वो स्ट्रेस से ही भरे रहेंगे, स्ट्रेस फ्री नहीं होंगे, तो वो मतलब वी कांट कम आउट ऑफ इट, मतलब क्रिएटिविटी
नुकसान
की
ही
तरह हम
नुकसान है।
जाएंगे ही नहीं।
हाँ, नुकसान ही नुकसान है। सबसे पहले तो खुद के ऊपर नुकसान है। खुद का बॉडी में सारी कहानियां हो रही है अंदर सबसे पहले तो।
So maybe the action, everyday action is of survival mode, but at the same time, you have to switch to the creative mode.
So the ultimate goal is to stay in the creative mode while you're taking all your actions.
Right.
Whatever actions need to be taken, need to be taken. You can't say कि अरे यार मैं मेडिटेट करूंगा मेरा सारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएंगे, ऐसे तो नहीं होने वाला है। तो हमें जो एक्शंस लेने हैं वो हम ले रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारा स्टेट ऑफ माइंड डिस्टर्ब नहीं हो रहा है। अगर स्टेट ऑफ माइंड डिस्टर्ब नहीं हो रहा है तो देन you will be totally in control. Your thinking, your actions, the way you know, the way we behave with our juniors, everything changes. Okay, so what is our goal? To be in the creative mode, in spite of the environment, in spite of the body, in spite of the time. That's the ultimate goal. If we are able to do this, then you can see the kind of results you can get. Or I don't have to tell you, you have already proved it in the past. दैट इज व्हाई यू आर सिटिंग इन द लीडरशिप पोजीशन। बट थोड़ा आप अपने आप को ही देखोगे कि सबसे ज्यादा मेरी प्रोडक्टिविटी कब होती है, सबसे ज्यादा मेरे रिजल्ट्स मुझे कब मिलते हैं, थोड़ा सा खुद को ही एनालाइज करो तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा। यस और नो?
Yes.
Okay. So how do we do this? That's the key. Okay. So we have to go from somebody to nobody. Nobody मतलब उस टाइम आपका पूरा ध्यान आपके काम के ऊपर है, ना आपका एनवायरनमेंट के ऊपर ध्यान है, ना आपका शरीर के ऊपर ध्यान है, ना कहीं पे। यू आर कंप्लीटली ऑन इट। That's the time when all the creative magic happens. Okay. So if you look at the survival mode to creative mode, when you become nobody, you open the doors to the quantum field. You've gone beyond the big three. So when you go into that zone of alpha theta, you become nobody. You've forgotten everything in the world now. You have opened the doors to the quantum field now. The quantum field is infinite possibilities. Unlimited संभावनाएं है वहां पे। तो जब आप उस अवस्था में जाते हो तो आपकी सारी संभावनाएं खुल जाती है, and you have gone beyond the three. If you look at the difference between the survival mode and the creative mode, stress, this is survival and this is creation mode. See what happens. यहाँ पे stress होता है, यहाँ पे homeostasis. What is the meaning of homeostasis? Your state of mind remains even. जिसको हम शास्त्रों में कहते हैं स्थित प्रज्ञ। Your mind or state of mind is calm and peaceful. This is contraction, this is expansion. Catabolism, anabolism, disease, health, imbalance, order, breakdown, repair, degeneration, regeneration. Body regenerates when you are in creation. Fear, anger, sadness, love, joy, trust. Selfish, selfless. सर्वाइवल मोड में देयर इज अ टेंडेंसी टू बी सेल्फिश, बिकॉज खतरा है, खतरा है, खतरा है, मुझे अपनी जान बचानी है। तो मुझे अपनी जान बचानी है तो किसी का क्या हो मुझे क्या लेना देना, मुझे जिंदा रहना है। सो देयर इज अ टेंडेंसी टू बी सेल्फिश। व्हेन यू आर इन अ काम एंड पीसफुल स्टेट, आपको लगेगा यार मेरा भला हो रहा है तो उसका भी भला होना चाहिए। यू बिकम सेल्फलेस, selfish to selfless. Environment, you are controlled by body, environment, time. यहाँ पे nothing, no body, no time. Energy loss, energy created. When you are in the creative mode, you will actually get more energy. You feel good. Emergency, यहाँ पे emergency mode में हो, यहाँ पे growth and repair. Narrow focus, open focus. Narrow focus मतलब your mind is only on the 0.00001%. Whereas in the creative mode, you are in the 99.9999%. Okay, so narrow focus to open focus, separate to connected. When you are in stress, you feel alone. You feel separate from the world. When you are in a creation mode, you feel connected. You feel like you're connected with your team, you're connected with your organization, you're connected with your family. Otherwise, you feel disconnected from everything and everybody. Okay, really determined by the senses. Reality is determined by the senses. Reality is beyond the senses. हमारी 6 इंद्रियों से पूरा 5 इंद्रियों से पूरा जीवन कंट्रोल हो रहा है स्ट्रेस मोड में। द मोमेंट यू गो इनटू द क्रिएटिव मोड, द सेंसेस हैव नो इफेक्ट ऑन यू। कॉज एंड इफेक्ट, कॉजिंग एंड इफेक्ट। ओके, सो अभी जो आनंद जी बता रहे थे इसको हम कहते हैं कॉज एंड इफेक्ट। ये इसलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि वातावरण ये। क्रिएशन मोड में आप क्या करोगे, यू विल कॉज एन इफेक्ट। अंदर जो क्रिएट हो रहा है उसके वजह से बाहर बदलाव दिखेगा आपको। यू आर नो लॉन्गर कॉज एंड इफेक्ट, ये है इसलिए वो हो रहा है, ये है इसलिए हो रहा है। आप अभी क्रिएट कर रहे हो नई चीज को। लिमिटेड पॉसिबिलिटीज, ऑल पॉसिबिलिटीज, इनकोहेरेंस, कोहेरेंस, नोन, अननोन। So when you want to change any aspect of your life, you have to transcend it. जीवन के किसी परिस्थिति को बदलना है अगर, तो वी हैव टू गो अबाव इट। अगर उसी परिस्थिति में रहेंगे तो बदलाव बहुत मुश्किल है, होता तो है लेकिन स्ट्रगल बहुत होता है। So we have to go to a new level which is above the current problem. Problem is here, problem के ऊपर उठना होगा. प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे तो उसके ऊपर उठना होगा. प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे आया तो उसके ऊपर उठना होगा. You have to go beyond the problem. You must leave behind the big three to control the big three. So there is luckily machinery given to us to do all this. God has given us the machinery to go beyond time, beyond body, all of that. तो सबसे पहली मशीनरी जो दिया है ना हमें, this is which is the brain. I'll show you how beautiful your brain is, and using the brain, how you can actually go beyond all these three factors. So there is a part of the brain which is called the frontal lobe. I'll just show the diagram of the frontal lobe. Okay, this is the frontal lobe. ये जो part है ना सबसे बड़ा है इंसानों के अंदर. This part of the brain is the biggest. That is why we are able to think. We are able to create a vision. We are able to create a future. All of this is because of the front part of the brain, which is called the frontal lobe. Okay. The frontal lobe का सबसे बड़ा काम क्या है? The frontal lobe of the brain is the domain of creation and change. यहाँ पे हम बदलाव ला सकते हैं अपने जीवन में. This is the creative center, decision-making apparatus, seat of our attention, focus, concentration, awareness, observation, and consciousness. सब कुछ ये brain के part से control हो रहा है. This is where we think of possibilities, demonstrate firm intention कि मुझे करना ही है, make conscious decisions, control impulsive behavior, and learn new things. सारा ये part of the brain से होता है. इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? Frontal lobe. तो ये फ्रंटल लोब के 3 एसेंशियल फंक्शंस है. 3 functions. Okay, so what we have understood so far is that everything that happens in our life is because of our thinking. We are connected to the quantum field. Our thoughts and feelings create a electromagnetic signature, but our signature is not changing only because of the 3 factors. Same signal, more or less same signal भेजते हैं, same result आता है. Now to go above the 3 factors, we have to use our brain and mind so that you can go above these 3 factors. Okay. So this lobe, the frontal lobe is the one which helps us to do this. कैसे करता है वो देखो. The first role of the frontal lobe is something called metacognition. Becoming self-aware of our thoughts, emotions, and behavior. We have the power to observe our thoughts and ourselves. We can decide how we no longer want to be. थोड़ा सा हम अपने ऊपर ध्यान दें कि मैं क्या सोच रहा हूं, मेरे इमोशंस कैसे हैं, मेरा एक्शंस कैसे है, मेरे बिहेवियर कैसे है, तो आपको पता चल जाएगा. दैट इज द एबिलिटी ऑफ योर फ्रंटल लोब टू ऑब्जर्व योर ओन सेल्फ. यू आर ऑब्जर्विंग योर सेल्फ एज अ थर्ड पार्टी. ओके, मैं यहां पे हूं, मैं ही अपने आप को ऑब्जर्व कर सकता हूं. So you can see this process is called metacognition. Metacognition is I am observing कि मेरे विचार कैसे हैं. I hate my coworker, she betrayed me, I am going to get back to her, she is so selfish. तो अलग अलग सोच हम देख सकते हैं कि मैं ऐसे सोच रहा हूं. That is called metacognition. Okay. Using this ability, we'll be able to examine what we have already created very carefully and observe all aspects of our present personality. तो हम अपने आप को ही देख सकते हैं कि दिन भर मेरी सोच कैसे होती है, मेरे एक्शंस, मेरे इमोशंस, मेरे बिहेवियर्स. कैन वी ऑब्जर्व आवरसेल्फ? वी कैन. करेक्ट. We can pay attention to our unconscious thoughts, reflexive behaviors, automatic emotional reactions, and then decide what we want to keep and what we want to let go. आप डिसाइड कर सकते हो, इस तरह के विचार मुझे नहीं चाहिए अभी आज से, इस तरह के इमोशंस मुझे छोड़ देने हैं, इस तरह के रिएक्शंस मुझे छोड़ देने हैं. This part of me is very good, I want to keep it. This part of me is not helpful, let me let go of that. This process of observing your own self is called what? Metacognition. Observing your own self. Okay. The purpose of becoming self-aware is to not allow any thought, action, or emotion you don't want to experience to pass by your awareness. तो अभी जो क्वेश्चन मुझे पूछा था ना, आपका नाम क्या है? भूल गया मैं। शशांक जी, शशांक के बाजू में बैठे हैं।
रितेश 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 ने पूछा। रितेश
हितेश जी ना? ओके। सो यू आस्क्ड मी द क्वेश्चन कि मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि क्या हो रहा है उस समय। जो जब हो रहा है तो आई एम जस्ट रिएक्टिंग एंड आई डोंट नो वेदर आई एम इन क्रिएटिव और सर्वाइवल मोड. बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इफ यू सिट डाउन एंड रिफ्लेक्ट, you will know what kind of thoughts did I have today, what kind of emotions did I have, what were my actions in different situations. So that process is called what? Metacognition. Looking at your own self from a distance so that you can decide what to keep and what to let go. आप डिसाइड कर सकते हो ये पार्ट मेरा जो है ना, ये मुझे नुकसान कर रहा है, ये उसको जाने देना है. अब कैसे जाने देना है मैं आपको सिखाऊंगा बाद में. ओके, यू डिसाइड दिस इज व्हाट आई डोंट वांट, दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट. So that's the first role of the frontal lobe, which is called metacognition. The purpose of becoming self-aware is to not allow any thought, action, or emotion you don't want to experience to pass by your awareness. Without your awareness, it will not go inside. आप इतना अवेयर हो अभी. This will slowly stop the firing and wiring of the neural networks that are related to the old you. जो आज तक आप थे, आपका ब्रेन का वायरिंग हो गया उस तरह से. ऐसा होगा तो ऐसे करेंगे, ऐसा होगा तो ऐसा करेंगे, इफ दिस हैपेंस दिस इज व्हाट आई विल डू. इसकी पूरी वायरिंग हो गई. हाउ डज द वायरिंग हैपन? Firing and wiring, firing and wiring. Whenever you're thinking of something, it fires the neurons in the brain and it wires the neural networks. तो हमारे अंदर पूरा न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स, न्यूरल हार्डवेयर पूरा क्रिएट हो गया है. And that neural hardware forces us to behave in a certain way, act in a certain way, think in a certain way. Okay? But now when you become aware कि ये ऐसा हो रहा है मेरे साथ, you can bring about a change. So you create a new personality now. This is your old personality. This is your new personality. So we are going to learn how to create a new personality जहां पे हमारी सोच अलग है, हमारे emotions अलग है, हमारे actions अलग है. The new personality will create a new personal reality. So Anandji, I hope that answers your question. Now I'm going to
Yes,
observe
sir.
myself. I'm going to decide what to keep, what not to keep. That will bring about a change in my personality. And my personality is what creates my personal reality. So the approach is what? Inside out. What we generally try to do, which is very normal for all of us, is right, we try to fix the outside. इसको fix करो, इसको fix करो, इसको fix करो, उसको fix करो. Right? We try to fix everybody because they are not performing as per our expectations or things are not happening as per what we want. That's what we try to do, correct? But that is very stressful and time consuming, right? So metacognition is thus the first step in moving from your past to creating a new future. Self-awareness. The best leaders in the world are very aware people, very self-aware. What am I doing? What is my thinking? What are the actions I am taking? Why do biggest companies in the world collapse? Tell me. Talk about Lehman Brothers. Talk about all the big companies who have miserably failed. Why did those companies fail at such an extent? Tell me. बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां फेल क्यों होती है?
Some companies, they won't update according to the time.
Okay, so they're not updated. But सबसे बड़ा रीजन क्या है?
प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट नहीं होता है. प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट.
प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट मतलब किसका मैनेजमेंट?
कंपनी का प्रॉपर
People
मैनेजमेंट
management.
नहीं होने की वजह से.
करेक्ट. तो मैनेजमेंट कौन करता है? Who does the management?
जो हायरार्कीज होती है.
So essentially the leaders, isn't it?
यस
Leaders,
करेक्ट.
leaders of the company are the ones who are taking the decisions, who are making changes, who are bringing about things in the organization. It is the leadership उसकी सोच सही नहीं है तो पूरे कंपनी में गड़बड़ हो सकता है. वन रॉन्ग सीईओ कैन डिस्ट्रॉय कंपनी. डू यू अग्री?
Yes.
बिकॉज द थिंकिंग ऑफ द सीईओ इज व्हाट इज ड्रिवन डाउन. तो लेमैन ब्रदर्स और जो बड़े बड़े कंपनी फेल हुए, इट वाज समवेयर द लीडरशिप, द थॉट प्रोसेस ऑफ द लीडरशिप which was incorrect, which collapsed such large organization. Failure of Enron, इतना बड़ा organization which was running for so many years, how come the company just failed?
Sir, what I am feeling
Hmm.
कि जो लीडर या मैनेजमेंट अपने एम्प्लॉयज को एसेट समझता है कि अच्छी तरह से मेरी एसेट है, उसका यूटिलाइजेशन प्रॉपर करता है, वही कंपनी आगे बढ़ती है.
हाँ, which means it's a thinking of the leadership, isn't it? Same, आप जो बोल रहे
यस,
हो
यस.
परफेक्ट बोल रहे हो, लेकिन एक सोच है ना वो. एक सोच है कि
राइट,
मुझे अपने एम्प्लॉयज का ध्यान रखना है, मुझे मेरे टीम
राइट.
का ध्यान रखना है, मुझे डेवलप करना है मुझे. और दूसरी सोच है, दे आर सपोज टू डू इट. मैं सैलरी क्यों दे रहा हूं? दो सोच ही तो है, लेकिन दोनों सोच के रिजल्ट्स कितने अलग है.
ट्रू.
सो वी आर ऑल लीडर्स इन आवर ओन कैपेसिटी, इजंट इट? हम सब तो लीडर्स ही है यहाँ पे जो बैठे हैं. एंड यू हैव योर ओन रिस्पेक्टिव टीम्स. तो भले आप पूरे कंपनी को कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते हो, बट यू कैन कंट्रोल योर ओन डोमेन, एंड योर थिंकिंग इज व्हाट ड्राइव्स योर डोमेन and your region. If all the leaders are thinking in that way, where you are creating something, the company has to go up. There is no option. So collective vision, which is the collective vision of the company, this is where we want to take the company, and everybody is thinking in an aligned manner, in alignment with the vision. Then you go beyond boundaries, you go beyond departments, you go beyond people, you go beyond regions. Your only goal is to make it happen. फिर ऐसा नहीं कि ऑपरेशंस ने काम ठीक से नहीं किया, या टेक्नोलॉजी ने नहीं किया, या इसका गड़बड़ है, सेल्स वाले ने सेल्स नहीं लाया, मार्केटिंग वाले ठीक से काम नहीं करते, एचआर वाले कुछ नहीं करते. नाउ इट इज बियॉन्ड ऑल दैट. व्हेन योर थिंकिंग इज बियॉन्ड, there is oneness, there is no separation मतलब मुझे तो करना ही पड़ेगा मेरा, नहीं तो मेरी नौकरी खतरे में.
सर वन थिंग आई विल टेल यू सर.
यस.
सर आपने जो बोला ना, लीडर्स जो होते हैं वो एक डिसीजन अगर थोड़ा आगे पीछे होता है तो पूरी कंपनी में वो हो जाता है.
करेक्ट.
तो उसके एक हॉल्ट मेथड है, शायद आपको पता होगा, HAULT, हॉल्ट मेथड.
ओके.
उसका फर्स्ट कैरेक्टर हम लेते हैं. तो लीडर्स को वो चीज ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए. वैसे तो मैं बहुत छोटा हूँ, बड़ी बात,
नहीं
पर
नहीं,
सॉरी टू
हमेशा सोच इंपॉर्टेंट है.
HAULT. यस, यस. नेवर टेक एनी डिसीजन व्हेन यू आर हंग्री. हॉल्ट में H फॉर हंग्री. नेवर टेक एनी डिसीजन व्हेन यू आर हंग्री.
करेक्ट.
नेवर टेक एनी डिसीजन व्हेन यू आर एंग्री. नेवर टेक एनी डिसीजन व्हेन यू आर अगली. Never take any decision when you are lonely, and never take any decision when you are tired.
Awesome. तो ये पांचों सिचुएशन
ये
में,
5 चीज में अगर आप लोगे तो डिसीजन गलत ही होगा सर.
तो ये
गुड,
पांचों
गुड, गुड.
सिचुएशन में आप कौन से मोड में हो? सर्वाइवल मोड के क्रिएशन मोड?
वो तो दोनों को बैलेंस ही रखना पड़ेगा ना सर.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये पांचों सिचुएशन जो आपने बताया ना, HAULT, खाना नहीं मिल
राइट.
रहा है मुझे, हंग्री हूं मैं, तो मैं कौन से मोड में हूँ? क्रिएटिव या सर्वाइवल?
सर्वाइवल.
एंग्री हूं तो कौन से मोड में हूं मैं? सर्वाइवल या क्रिएटिव? सारा सर्वाइवल
आई
मोड
डोंट नो.
के चक्कर है.
करेक्ट.
बट दैट वाज अ वेरी गुड.
क्रिएटिव.
थैंक यू. सो इट वाज ब्यूटीफुल. सो if the leader is in the creative mode, then all these things will not happen only. Your mind is completely in control. In any situation, your thoughts are different from the thoughts which a stressful person will have. Stress creates us to take wrong decisions. Can you take good decisions when you're angry? No. Can you take good decisions when you're sad or lonely or upset? You can't.
Never.
You can never do that. So the most beautiful solution is that when all leaders are in the creative mode, imagine if one human being can create so much, what can 25 people create? Magic. हम एक इंसान की शक्ति के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जब मल्टीपल शक्तियां एक साथ में जुड़ती है तो क्या मैजिक क्रिएट हो सकता है? कुछ भी हो सकता है. So alignment. So that's the first role of the frontal lobe. Okay, metacognition. We'll just take 2 minutes and we'll take a break. Okay, we'll just finish up the role of the frontal lobe. Second is step of creation. The second function of the frontal lobe is to create a new mind. फ्रंटल लोब सबसे पहले देखता है कि मैं कैसे सोच रहा हूं, फिर डिसाइड करता है कि मुझे ऐसा नहीं सोचना है, मुझे ऐसा सोचना है. ये मेरे अंदर जो है वो अच्छा है, ये मेरे अंदर जो है उसको निकालना जरूरी. सो सेकंड स्टेप ऑफ द फ्रंटल लोब इज टू क्रिएट अ न्यू माइंड. एक नया माइंड क्रिएट करना, पूरी वायरिंग बदलनी है इसकी. Okay, so you set aside time and private space to think of what we actually wish to become. What qualities would you like to develop? So अब वो भी आप ही सोचते हो, फ्रंटल लोब से सोचते हो कि मुझे कैसा बनना है. मैं ऐसा हूं, अब मुझे कैसा बनना है, मेरी सोच कैसे होनी चाहिए, मेरे इमोशंस कैसे होने चाहिए, मेरे एक्शंस कैसे होने चाहिए. ये कौन सोचता है? ये भी फ्रंटल लोब ही सोचता है. एंड थर्ड इज मेकिंग द थॉट मोर रियल देन एनीथिंग एल्स. एक बार आपने सोचा कि मुझे ऐसा बनना है और उसके ऊपर आपने ध्यान दिया, so then that thought becomes the only thought in your mind. It feels as if वो सच हो चुका है. Like suppose you close your eyes and think of yourself as the person you want to become and just focus on that. After some time, your mind will start feeling that you have already become that. Because your mind is focused on only one thought. And the brain has the ability to make that thought so real कि आपको लगेगा जैसे हो चुका है already. So in the creative mode, the frontal lobe becomes highly activated and lowers the volume on the circuits in the rest of the brain. Lowers the volume on the sensory circuits, motor center, association center, and circuits that produce time. तो मैं क्या कहना चाहता हूं? Basically, what happens is, ये होता है देखो, जब आपका माइंड, जब आपका ब्रेन एक ही चीज के बारे में सोच रहा है, तो ब्रेन का वो पार्ट जो बॉडी को सेंस करता है, जो बॉडी को मूव करता है, वो उसका वॉल्यूम कम हो जाता है. मतलब आपका बॉडी मूव ही नहीं करेगा. जो ब्रेन का पार्ट आपको बॉडी को फील करने के लिए हेल्प करता है, वो पार्ट, इसका वॉल्यूम कंट्रोल भी कम हो गया, तो आप बॉडी में कुछ दर्द है वो भी आप पेन महसूस नहीं कर पाओगे. इसको भी शांत कर देता है पैराइटल लोब, तो आपको टाइम का पता नहीं चलेगा कितना टाइम निकल गया, आप कहाँ पे हो वो भी आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. वातावरण को डिस्कनेक्ट कर दिया, इमोशन को डिस्कनेक्ट कर दिया. दिस वन थॉट can lower the volume of all the other aspects of the brain. Ab you are disconnected from everything. That is why when you are in the creative mode, you're so focused on that one thought, just forget everything around you. ये ब्रेन का फंक्शन है. सारे बाकी पार्ट्स को उसका वॉल्यूम कंट्रोल लो कर देता है वो, तो कुछ समय आसपास की आवाज भी सुनाई नहीं देगी आप. Have you noticed that? That when you're in absolute creative mode, when you're doing something that you really like to do, or when you are in your absolute planning mode, you just forget everything. So this is the third function of the frontal lobe, where it basically calms down all the aspects of the brain. This is where you become no body nahi hai, no time, and यहाँ पे nowhere होना चाहिए. आप कहाँ पे हो, क्या हो, समय कितना हो गया, आपका बॉडी कहाँ क्या है, क्या हो रहा है, यू जस्ट फॉरगेट एवरीथिंग. This is known as a pure state of consciousness, where you become absolute pure state of consciousness. Consciousness मतलब हमारे अंदर जो शक्ति है वो आप बन जाते हो. अब आप अपने बॉडी से कनेक्टेड नहीं हो, आपके पोजेशंस के साथ कनेक्टेड नहीं हो, घर गाड़ी बंगला, यू आर डिस्कनेक्टेड फ्रॉम एवरीथिंग. Your inner world of thought becomes as real as the outer world of reality. This creates an emotion, and you begin to feel like the event is already happening to you in the present moment. When you focus your thought, let's say you are trying to plan an event, okay, in your house or in the office. Now your mind is completely focused on planning that event. You can actually visualize the whole thing now. कि ऐसा होगा, फिर ऐसा होगा, फिर ऐसा होगा. You can literally feel as if the event is happening right now in front of you. So we are going to use the functions of these three functions of the frontal lobe. What is the first function of the frontal lobe? Tell me.
Metacognition.
Metacognition. Metacognition में हम क्या करेंगे?
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. You are going to look at your own self. खुद को ही हम देखेंगे. मैं क्या सोच रहा हूँ, मेरे इमोशंस कैसे है, मेरे एक्शंस कैसे है. तो पहला स्टेप इज अवेयरनेस, कि हमें पता है कि क्या हो रहा है मेरे साथ. सेकंड स्टेप क्या है?
Steps of creation.
क्रिएशन. अभी आपको कुछ नया क्रिएट करना है तो आप उसके बारे में सोचोगे, मुझे ऐसा बनना है, मुझे ऐसा करना है, मुझे ऐसे एक्शंस लेने हैं. सो आई वांट टू बिकम दिस, दिस इज व्हाट आई एम, दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू बिकम. सो वो भी तो एक नई सोच है ना, मुझे ऐसा बनना है. दैट इज द सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द फ्रंटल लोब. एंड व्हाट इज द थर्ड पार्ट ऑफ द फ्रंटल लोब?
Thoughts real.
टू मेक दैट थॉट सो रियल. जो आपको बनना है उसका सोच इतना रियल बन जाता है कि आपको लगता है कि आप ऑलरेडी वो बन चुके हो. Because now your brain is only thinking of that one thought. And when it is thinking of only one thought, it lowers the volume of all the other regions of the brain. ये सारा पूरा जो है ना उसका वॉल्यूम कंट्रोल डाउन. तो आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा आसपास क्या हो रहा है. This is the technology which we are going to use, which God has given us to bring change in our life. Big change. छोटा मोटा नहीं है. छोटा मोटा चीज के लिए हम लोग ये सब नहीं कर रहे. हम लोग ये सब कर रहे हैं बहुत बड़ा बदलाव के लिए. यस और नो? छोटा मोटा बदलाव करने के
Yes.
लिए क्या मेरी जरूरत क्या है, बताइए मुझे. We want to bring a huge shift and change, right? So then we have to actually do the rewiring of the brain, recreating a new thought process, recreating something which can take us to a level where आपका माइंड बोलेगा 1 बिलियन का देख लेंगे, उसके भी ज्यादा भी आगे बढ़ेंगे हम. Okay? Because you have to be truly limitless. Otherwise, the mind will keep stopping you. Okay? So should we take a little break now?
Yes.
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 What is the time over there right now?
5:40.
5:40. So 6 o'clock, should we come back? Exactly at 6 o'clock, okay? Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. अल्पेश भाई बैठे हैं क्या उधर पीछे? क्या बात है. Very nice to see you. Thank you so much for being there. Good, good. चलिए, we'll meet in 20 minutes, okay? Thank you.
ठीक आहे ना, मी 8 मिनिटामध्ये येतोय. हो ठीक आहे. ठीक.
All the online folks, the video, please. Yeah. Okay, great. So basically, we have to move from somebody, sometime, somewhere to nobody, no time, nowhere. So basically, when you disconnect from the world, is when you become pure consciousness. जब आप किसी भी चीज से जुड़े हुए नहीं, अटैच नहीं हो, that's the time you can do the best creation. Okay, and that is only possible when you close your eyes and go into a deep meditative state. Okay, so we'll come to what kind of meditation. This is not the normal meditation we do. Okay, this is slightly going to be different. So survival, you are one with your thoughts and feelings associated with your desired reality. मतलब आप और आपके विचार एक हो चुके हो when you go in that state. You're now in a new state of being. In this moment, you are rewriting the subconscious programs by reconditioning the body to a new mind. So when you are able to become nobody, no time, nowhere, no space, no sense. What is the meaning of no sense? When you close your eyes, you are disconnected from the five senses. That is called no sense, nonsense. Nonsense का मतलब इंद्रियों से आप disconnect हो चुके हो, all the five senses. When you become no body, no time, that's the time when you become pure consciousness. And that is where you can create whatever you want to create. There is infinite possibilities. Okay. So when you are in the state of creation, you are no longer creating the same chemical signature because we are not the same identity. Survival mode is switched off. You're in a completely different mode. You're no longer remembering the environment. So now the survival mode is switched off. You go in the creative mode. When this happens, the emotional energy bound to the body is free to move. The energy moves up the body to the heart area where you fall in love with your creation. Generally, क्या होता है? If everybody knows, we have chakras, right? 7 chakras. 7 chakras. उसमें से जो लोअर 3 चक्रास है, जिसको कहते हैं मूलाधार चक्र, स्वादिष्ठान चक्र एंड मणिपुर चक्र, दे आर कॉल्ड द सर्वाइवल सेंटर्स. वो 3 चक्रास हमें इस जमीन के साथ जोड़ के रखते हैं, एंड दे आर बेसिकली द चक्रास विच मेक अस सर्वाइव ऑन दिस प्लैनेट. ओके, सो मोस्टली all our energy is stuck in the lower 3 centers because it's about survival. जिंदा रहना है तो हमें वहां पे एनर्जी देना ही पड़ेगा. तो उसके वजह से सारी एनर्जी वहां पे स्टक होती है मोस्ट पीपल के लिए. What we need to do is bring that energy up. The 4th center is the heart center. The 5th is the throat.
स्टेशन के सर
3rd eye. And 7th is the crown chakra, which is the topmost, where your connection with the divine is the highest, where your creativity is the highest, where your problem solving ability, the ability to predict what's going to happen, all of this becomes when your energy higher centers is high. तो हमें क्या करना है? किसी तरह वो लोअर एनर्जी सेंटर्स में से एनर्जी को पुश करके ऊपर लेना है, सो दैट यू कैन फील बेटर फीलिंग्स. जो सिर्फ नीचे 3 सेंटर्स में अटके हुए, उनको जनरली गुस्सा आता है, टेंशन आता है, स्ट्रेस आता है, वरीज होता है, वो सब होता है. When the energy moves up to the heart center, then they feel compassionate, they feel happy, they feel loving, they feel caring, they want to do things for others. जब हार्ट में एनर्जी आएगी तभी तो पॉसिबल है ना. Otherwise, it's like survive, survive, survive. That's all I can do. When the energy moves up, you are able to talk about your creations. You're able to express yourself better, all of that. And when it comes here, so it is basically lifting जो चीजें सच्चाई है वो आपको समझ में आती है. दिस कॉल्ड द थर्ड आई. थर्ड आई मतलब जो इल्यूजन्स है, जो चीज झूठ है, वो पर्दा हट जाता है और आपको सच्चाई क्या है, हर चीज के पीछे क्या है, वो सारा समझ में आने लगता है. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड द थर्ड आई, विच द नॉर्मल आईज कैन नॉट सी. दिस इज इंट्यूशन, सिक्स सेंस, द पावर ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग थिंग्स विच आर नॉट इवन टोल्ड टू यू, which is extremely critical in stock markets. The ability to sense something which is not even shown. Okay, so typically people who succeed and do very well in the stock markets have a good sense, sixth sense. ये होने वाला है, ये ऐसा होगा, ये होगा. सही टाइम पे निकलना, सही टाइम पे एग्जिट करना, एंट्री करना इज ऑल कनेक्टेड विथ योर सिक्स सेंस. Leaders of the companies typically have a higher sixth sense because one is what is shown to you by data and one is a sense, gut feeling जिसको कहते हैं कि आपको जो डेटा दिख रहा है वो आपको अंदर से लग रहा है सही नहीं है, ये कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. That's the sixth sense. So when the energy moves up, your sixth sense improves. You are able to see the reality. जो false चीजें वो निकल जाती है. And when your energy moves to the seventh center, then you are connected to the divine, which means your possibilities become endless. Okay. So when you move from survival mode to creative mode, basically what you're doing is you're moving the energy from the lower chakras to the higher chakras. Starting from the heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakra, Sahasrara chakra. Okay. So that is basically why we are able to then generate ideas, solutions, because you directly connect with the divine, where there is infinite wisdom, infinite knowledge, from where you can get amazing ideas. Okay. So when this happens, the emotional energy bound to the body is free to move. This energy moves up the body to the heart area, where you fall in love with your creation. जो आप बनाना चाहते हो, जो आप vision है आपका, जो आपको achieve करना है, you fall in love with that. This is what I want to achieve. And you feel good about it. You feel grateful, joyful, and expanded when you're out of the survival mode. Okay. Here your heart and brain become coherent. हम नीचे के 3 सेंट जब स्ट्रेस में होते हैं तो हमारी सोच और हमारा ब्रेन हार्ट अलाइनमेंट में कैसे हो सकता है? You're thinking something, but the feelings are completely different. Feelings are that of fear, worry, tension, stress, anxiety, all of that feelings, jealousy, envy, hatred. But when you move up to the heart, the energy moves up to the heart, then your brain and your heart are working in alignment. That's when the magic happens. Okay. So here the brain and heart become coherent and you feel more connected to something greater. So this is known as the process of thinking to doing to becoming to being. So we have 3 brains. First, we talked about the frontal lobe, which has 3 functions: metacognition, creation, and making the thought as real as you feel as if it is real. ये हमारे frontal lobe का काम है. अब we have actually 3 brains in our brain. Okay, so we are blessed with all the equipment to change ourselves and our life. Change requires new ways of thinking, doing, and being. Okay, let's take the example of learning how to drive a car. सबसे पहले जब आप कार चलाना सीखते हो तो you learn everything about the car, right? Where is the brake? Where is the accelerator? Where is the clutch? This is the steering. This is how you sit. पूरा information और knowledge आप लेते हो. That is collecting information. That is thinking about everything that you're getting. Right now also I'm sharing with you all this knowledge. There is one brain which is collecting all this information. This part of the brain is called neocortex. So neocortex is the part of the brain which collects all the information. Okay? कैसे करना चाहिए, ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए, ऐसे करना चाहिए. Then there is a second part of the brain which is called doing brain. एक बार आपने उसको सीखा, फिर आपने उसको अप्लाई करना शुरू किया. That part of the brain is called the limbic brain. So neocortex is the thinking brain which takes the information. Limbic brain is the one who puts those things into action. When you put it into action, you get a new experience. And when you get a new experience, you get a good feeling. So the limbic brain is the emotional brain also, which creates emotions. देखो, आपको दिखाता हूँ. So सबसे पहले कौन सा brain काम करता है? Neocortex. This is the first brain. This is the biggest part of the brain here. यहाँ पे पूरा. Okay? एक बार उसने इंफॉर्मेशन सारा कलेक्ट कर लिया, उसके बाद यू पुट इट इनटू प्रैक्टिस. जैसे आपने कार का पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन ले लिया, अभी आपने कार चलाना सीखा. यू हैव स्टार्टेड टू ड्राइव नाउ. When you're starting to drive, you get an experience. Wow, I'm able to drive my car. I'm feeling good. So that experience, which is doing, is done by the limbic brain. It's also called the midbrain. Okay. And once you keep driving for a certain number of days and you keep driving, now your body is able to do it automatically. आपको ज्यादा सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप ऑटोमेटिकली कार चला रहे हो, दिमाग लगा ही नहीं रहे हो आप. Your body has become more powerful than your conscious mind now. You don't need to think and you're driving automatically. Have you noticed that you don't have to pay attention while driving now? Your hands are moving automatically, your legs are moving automatically, everything is automatic. At that time, the program moves to the cerebellum when it becomes an automatic process. Now there is no more thinking required. You're just driving. Okay? Have you noticed that सपोज आपको घर में से बोला कि ग्रोसरी स्टोर में जाके ब्रेड लेके आना, ओके? लेकिन आपका ब्रेन इतना ट्यून्ड है ना कि आप गाड़ी चला के घर पहुंच जाओगे, ऊपर पहुंच जाओगे, तब आपको याद आएगा कि यार मुझे ब्रेक लेना था. आपको समझ में भी नहीं आया कि कब आपने सिग्नल क्रॉस कर लिया, कब आप घर पहुंच गए, कब आप ऊपर चले गए, और फिर आपको तो अरे यार रुकना था. इट बिकम्स सो ऑटोमेटिक. So same way as driving has become an automatic process, same way our reactions have become an automatic process. Something happens and we react in a certain way. Something happens and we think in a certain way. So all those behaviors, actions, everything has become an automated process now. पहले पहले हमने उसको सीखा, फिर उसको अप्लाई किया, और अभी ऑटोमेटिक हो गया. Same way, remember I taught you the practice of gratitude? तो पहले हमने सीखा, फिर आपने उसको अप्लाई किया तो आपको एक नया एक्सपीरियंस मिला, आपको लगा वाओ दिस फील सो नाइस, और अब धीरे धीरे वो ऑटोमेटिक हो जाता है. यू जस्ट बिकम अ ग्रेटफुल पर्सन. यू नो लॉन्गर हैव टू एक्चुअली सिट डाउन एंड डू ग्रेटिट्यूड. यू आर जेन्युइनली अ ग्रेटफुल पर्सन. यू जस्ट ग्रेटफुल फॉर एवरीथिंग. So it's called thinking to doing to being. अब आप you become gratitude. When you learn something new, let's say you learn how to appreciate more. तो पहले यू आर लर्निंग कि अप्रिसिएशन करते तो ऐसा होता है, हम ये करते तो दूसरों को अच्छा लगता है, ये हमने पहले सीखा, फिर उसको अप्लाई करना शुरू किया. यू स्टार्ट अप्रिशिएटिंग पीपल एंड यू गेट अ न्यू एक्सपीरियंस बिकॉज द अदर पर्सन ऑल्सो अप्रिशिएट्स यू एंड यू फील गुड. सो हु इज मेकिंग द फीलिंग्स? क्रिएट कौन कर रहा है फीलिंग्स? लिम्बिक ब्रेन. वो फीलिंग्स की वजह से हमें एक्सपीरियंस याद रहता है. जब आपको अच्छा लगता है तो आपको याद रहता है, हाँ वाओ आई फेल्ट गुड. और फिर उसको रोज जब आप प्रैक्टिस करते हो तो इट बिकम्स पार्ट ऑफ योर बीइंग. नाउ यू आर जेन्युइनली अप्रिशिएटिव. You don't have to read any book for it. You are automatically appreciative. You are automatically in gratitude or automatically peaceful. इसी तरह हमें अपने सर्वाइवल एंड क्रिएशन मोड को भी ऑटोमेटिक बनाना है. So you have to first learn about what is the creation mode. Then you have to practice those things in your life. And at some point, you just become that. You don't have to take any special effort to do that. Are we all clear of the three parts of the brain? So you move first from which process? First process is thinking. Which brain does that? Neocortex. Very good. After you have collected assimilated all the information, then you put it into action. That phase is called doing. Who's responsible for doing? Limbic brain. So when you're doing something, you create a new experience. When you create a new experience, you get new emotions. So all that process of experiencing and creating emotions is done by the limbic brain. Now, after you do it regularly and keep doing it again and again and again and again and again, then what happens? It moves to the third brain. Which is that third brain? Cerebellum, which is the doing brain, which is the seat of the subconscious mind. एक बार सबकॉन्शियस माइंड के अंदर घुस गया वो, फिर आपको उसके बारे में सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप ऑटोमेटिकली कर लेते हो. Have you noticed that sometimes when you want to open the locker, there is some passcode, okay? 9416, that's the number. You're forgetting the number, huh? But when you go to the lock, your fingers will move automatically and it will open the door. Have you noticed this? Now your body has become more active than your conscious mind. Earlier we never used to have mobile phones, right? We had rotary phones. तो पहले हमको सारे नंबर्स याद रखने पड़ते थे. ભરતભાઈ બરાબર છે ને? હિતેશભાઈ પેલા નંબર
Perfect,
યાદ
perfect.
રાખવા પડતા હતા, રાઈટ? તો તમે જ્યારે નંબર કાઢતા હતા તો નંબર યુ ડોન્ટ હેવ ટુ રિમેમ્બર, યોર ફિંગર જસ્ટ યુઝ ટુ ગો લાઈક ધીસ લાઈક ધીસ લાઈક ધીસ એન્ડ ઇટ યુઝ ટુ ડાયલ. So now what has happened? Your body has become automatic. So same way, everything becomes automatic. We are like robots running on old programs. But suppose now you reprogram the robot will act and behave and think in a different way. And when you do that, it will create a different result. This process is called change. Thinking to doing to being. आप वो बन जाते हो, एक नए इंसान बन जाते हो. Okay? So this is the 3-step process of bringing change. So we have 3 brains to assist in going from thinking to doing to being. First brain is called the neocortex, which processes knowledge, prompts us to take action on what we have learned. अभी हमने ये सारा सीखा, हम कुछ मेडिटेशन सीखेंगे, उसको समझेंगे कैसे करना है, उसके बेनिफिट्स को सीखेंगे. तो right now you are in which phase? Thinking phase, where the neocortex is collecting all the information. Okay. Now, the neocortex is the thinking brain. It allows you to learn, remember, reason, analyze, plan, create, speculate on possibilities, invent, communicate. In general, it processes the knowledge and experiences and adds to the neural circuits. आपके ब्रेन में उसकी पूरी वायरिंग होनी शुरू हो जाती है. Then, based on the new learnings, you think about modifying your current behavior whenever you get a chance so that you get a different experience. आपको लगता है अच्छा ये सुनील जी इतना बोल रहे तो एटलीस्ट ट्राई तो करूं. You feel inspired. Wow, let me at least try. So when you try, you get a new experience. Now you have moved from the neocortex to the limbic brain. When you get a new experience, you feel different. It creates a new emotion. Okay. So then it goes to the second brain, which is called the limbic brain. So this is from new events to new emotions, new experiences, new emotions. The limbic brain uses chemicals to help us remember experiences. जब भी कोई केमिकल क्रिएट होता है, मतलब जब भी कोई एक्सपीरियंस होता है, तो लिम्बिक ब्रेन उसके कनेक्टेड केमिकल्स क्रिएट करता है, सो दैट यू रिमेंबर, ओ वाओ दैट फेल्ट सो गुड, दैट फेल्ट मिजरेबल, दैट वाज हॉरिबल. Why are you able to remember those memories? Because of the emotions. And those emotions are created by the limbic brain. Okay? The limbic brain has this hypothalamus, thalamus, amygdala. Amygdala is what we have talked about. You know, when something happens, it creates stress response in the body. This is also known as the chemical or emotional brain. जब कुछ लोग कहते हैं ना इसके ब्रेन के अंदर केमिकल लोचा हो गया है उसका मीनिंग क्या है? केमिकल लोचा. दैट मीन्स अंदर सब एकदम स्ट्रेस हार्मोन्स पूरे हिल गए. से ना इसके ब्रेन के अंदर लगता है कुछ केमिकल लोचा हो गया है. So that is basically the limbic brain, which is kind of creating all those chemicals in the brain. Okay. So so basically the limbic brain creates a rush of chemicals, creating the emotions that reflect the experience. This way you embody मतलब आप जो आपने अप्लाई किया उसको आप अपने बॉडी में उसको याद कर लेते हो. ड्राइविंग सीखा, फिर उसको मैंने किया, तो मेरा बॉडी अब सीख गया कि ड्राइविंग कैसे करना. दैट इज कॉल्ड एम्बॉडिंग योर लर्निंग्स. ओके. नाउ द बीइंग पार्ट, द थर्ड ब्रेन. So from thinking to doing to being, the cerebellum stores habitual thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. So once something you do it continually and you put it into practice, the new learning, thinking to doing, the learning eventually becomes subconscious. अब आपको पता भी नहीं कि आप क्या कब कर रहे हो उसको. When the body knows equal or greater than the conscious mind, you repeat the experience without much conscious effort. अब आपको ज्यादा कॉन्शियस माइंड को अप्लाई करने की जरूरत नहीं, वो अपने आप ही आप कर लेते हो. इमेजिन के सब कुछ करने के लिए अगर आपको माइंड लगाना पड़ता तो यू गेट टायर्ड. उठना कैसे, बैठना कैसे, ये कैसे ऑन कर रहा, वो कैसे ऑन, अभी सारा ऑटोमेटिक हो गया है. You don't have to use your mind for that. You're just using your body for it. Okay, so that is why you are able to use your mind to do the activity that you want to do, because things have become subconscious, they become automatic. Okay, so here you have memorized an action, behavior, attitude, or an emotional reaction. When you reach this level of ability, you have moved into a state of being. Here you have activated the third brain, which is called the cerebellum, which is the seat of the subconscious mind and plays a major role in changing your life. When your behaviors become automatic in a different way, you get a different result. Okay. So, for example, you have learned how to be a more compassionate person. So, for example, आपकी मदर इन लॉ आपको बहुत तकलीफ देती है. ओके. तो अभी आपने एक लेसन लिया, हाउ टू बी मोर कंपैशनेट, करुणा भाव कैसे दिखाना चाहिए. तो आपने वीडियो देखा, आपने मदर टेरेसा का वीडियो देखा, आपने इनका वीडियो देखा, उनका वीडियो देखा, आपने सीखा सब कुछ कि मदर इन लॉ भले कैसी भी हो, मुझे करुणा भाव दिखाना चाहिए. Okay. तो आपने सारा सीखा उसको. अब मदर इन लॉ घर पे आने वाली है 20 दिन आपके साथ रुकने के लिए, तो सारे ट्रिगर हो जाते हैं सेंसेशंस, ये होगा, वो होगा, ऐसा होगा, वैसा होगा, ये होगा. फिर आपको याद आता है मैंने सीखा था कि हाउ टू बी मोर, करुणा भाव कैसे अप्लाई करना चाहिए. इस बार मैं कुछ नया ट्राई करता हूँ या करती हूँ. ओके, सो नाउ यू प्रिपेयर योर माइंड, when she comes, this is what I will do, this is how I'll behave, this is how I'll act, even if she does this, I will do this. तो आपने पहले मेंटल रिहर्सल कर लिया पहले से. Now she actually comes and you apply your new learnings and you see a different experience. You say, wow, this time she didn't react. Okay, so now you got a different feeling, new experience, new feeling, and you feel like you're inspired to express it more. You want to be more compassionate with people now. So you keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing, and you become a compassionate person now. You don't hurt people. You understand other people, why they act and behave in a certain way. ये आपका स्वभाव बन गया अभी. Is everybody able to understand what I'm saying? The three processes. Okay, wonderful. So this is called evolving your brain. So the process is going to be thinking to doing to be. यहाँ पे आपको नॉलेज मिलता है, यहाँ पे आपको एक्सपीरियंस मिलता है. जैसे आप उसको अप्लाई करते हो, यू गेट एक्सपीरियंस, एंड व्हेन यू कीप अप्लाइंग द एक्सपीरियंस, इट बिकम्स विजडम. You apply your mind here, you apply the body here, the body is doing the experience, and you put it into the soul. Mental rehearsal, physical rehearsal, neurological self. Thoughts, feelings, memorize self. Send signal out, draw the event back. Brain is thinking, is basically sending the signal out. Feeling is attracting that into your life. And then finally you manifest your goals. This is electro, this is magnetic, this is electromagnetic field. This is head, this is heart, this is head, hands से हम काम करते हैं, and then finally heart. Learning, instruction, feedback. Philosopher खाली सोचते रहता है. Initiate is somebody who puts it into action, and finally you become a master. That is how you evolve your brain. तो हम जितना भी सीख रहे हैं राइट नाउ, यू आर इन द विच मोड? यू आर इन द फिलोसोफर मोड. यू आर लर्निंग, यू आर एब्सॉर्बिंग, यू आर एनालाइजिंग, यू आर imbibing. Then you become an initiate, where you start putting it into action into your life. And when you keep putting it into action every day and you see a new experience, the experience creates new emotions. The new emotions inspire you to do it again and again and again and again and again. And at some point, you become a master in that process. Okay. So this is the process we are going to follow to bring about big changes in our life, personal, professional, everything. Okay? So we are learning the complete science of the brain and the mind and how things happen in our life. Okay? So, just 1 second. The good news is Now this is excellent news. Okay, they generally तीन process होता है, thinking to doing to being. हमारे अंदर परमात्मा ने ऐसा हार्डवेयर दिया है जिससे हम डायरेक्टली थिंकिंग टू बीइंग शिफ्ट हो सकते हैं विदाउट डूइंग टू मच एफर्ट आउटसाइड. Okay, so if you are first of all learning how to be grateful without even doing anything, if you're holding the feelings of gratitude, you will see gradually ये पूरा आपका ब्रेन रीवायर हो जाएगा और आप ऑटोमेटिकली ग्रेटफुल फील करना शुरू करोगे. So let me explain this to you first and then we will talk about it. Okay, so you have the ability to go directly from thinking to being without taking any physical action. So doing का फेज आप हटा सकते हो. We can create a new state of being ahead of actually having the material experience. So सिर्फ सोचने से, जब आप उसके बारे में सोचते रहते हो तो आपके ब्रेन में वो फायरिंग होता है, वायरिंग होता है, and at some point you feel as if it has already become the reality. Okay, so it is not just simple fake it until you make it. Generally लोग कहते हैं कि you fake it until you make it. जब तक वो सच नहीं होता तब तक ऐसे सोचोगे सच हो गया. ये ऐसा नहीं है. So यहाँ पे हम क्या करते हैं, whether you're mentally rehearsing the speech you're going to give or imagining what you want to eat when you're really hungry but stuck in traffic, you're thinking about that to exclusion of everything else. Your body psychologically moves into the state of being. Let me give an example. आप ट्रैफिक में फंसे हो और आपको बहुत भूख लगी और आप सोच रहे हो कि आगे एक पिज्जा हट है, वहां पे जाके मैं रुकूं, okay? और वहां पे जाके पिज्जा खाएंगे. अब आपको कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपका पूरा माइंड पिज्जा के ऊपर है और मुझे पिज्जा खाना है. तो मैं लिटरली आपको बोल सकता हूँ कि कार में आप पिज्जा खा भी लोगे और उसके आपको फीलिंग्स भी आएंगे और मुंह में पानी भी आएगा. यस और नो? यू हैव नॉट इवन एट द पिज्जा. Your mind is focused only on one thought, that I have gone to the Pizza Hut, I have eaten the pizza, and I am feeling this way. पूरा sensation शुरू हो जाएगा. Okay? So that is called thinking to being. Now you automatically started to feel that way without actually even going and eating. Same thing. If I want to become a different person, आज मेरा एक्शंस ऐसा है, सोच ऐसी है, बिहेवियर ऐसा है, अब मैंने सोच लिया कि मुझे ऐसा बनना है. This is called the old you, this is called the new you. I want to become this kind of a person. And when you're thinking of that new person every day and you're feeling it in your mind and you're actually seeing as if you already become that, and when you do it continuously, आपके ब्रेन में आप ऑलरेडी वो इंसान बन चुके हो. उसके लिए आपको फिजिकल ज्यादा कुछ करने की जरूरत पड़ती नहीं है, बिकॉज योर थॉट प्रोसेस है चेंज इनसाइड. अभी एग्जैक्टली कैसे करना वी गोइंग टू लर्न. व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज that you can directly move from thinking to being without going through the whole step of applying, feeling, all of that. You can switch from one state to another, and that saves a lot of time. Okay, we're going to learn how to do that without even doing too much of physical action. Okay, just 1 second now. Yeah. So you can finally be the person you want to be through thinking and feeling alone. So can you really become the person you want to become just by thinking and feeling? That's where meditation comes in. Okay? So meditation allows us to change our brains, bodies, and state of being. Most importantly, we can make these changes without having to take any physical action or having any interaction with the external world, because you are creating a thought. सबसे पहले आप कौन सा ये लोब यूज कर रहे हो? फ्रंटल लोब. मैं ऐसा हूं. अब फ्रंटल लोब से आप सोच रहे हो मुझे ऐसा बनना है. Okay, and then you make that thought as the most important thought in your mind. It basically बाकी सारे ब्रेन के वॉल्यूम कंट्रोल डाउन हो जाता है. And you keep focusing on the thought every day in meditation, it's going to fire and wire your circuits in the brain. And you see that eventually you become that person just by meditating on it. You don't even have to do too much in the physical world. That's what we're trying to say here. Okay. So through meditation, we can install the necessary neurological hardware. सारा ब्रेन का जो न्यूरल पैटर्न्स है आप उसको बदल सकते हो just by thought alone, and can influence the body through mental rehearsal. Now let me give you an example here. There were two groups, five people. एक ग्रुप को एक्चुअल पियानो के ऊपर बिठाया और उनको सिखाया कि पियानो के कीज कैसे कैसे प्ले करने. ओके. और दूसरे ग्रुप को खाली माइंड में सिखाया कि यू शुड डू लाइक दिस फिंगर्स यू हैव टू मूव with this you will be able to play so and so note on the piano. Now they asked these two groups to come for 5 days for 2 hours every day. पहले ग्रुप को बोला एक्चुअल पियानो के ऊपर बैठ के एक्चुअल कीज दबाओ. ओके. और दूसरे ग्रुप को बोला खाली माइंड में करना है, कुछ नहीं करना है. यू डोंट हैव टू मूव योर फिंगर्स आल्सो, but you have to keep practicing that in your mind, that you are pressing the keys and you're playing the notes and you're pressing the keys and you're playing the note. This group was doing physically, this group was doing mentally. After 1 week, they studied the brain patterns of both the groups. You will be shocked to believe कि जो ब्रेन पैटर्न्स फिजिकल लोगों में क्रिएट हुआ था वो सेम ब्रेन पैटर्न इसके अंदर भी क्रिएट हुआ था. And they were indeed able to play the piano without much effort because वो already mind में play कर लिया उसने. So what have you done now? You have moved from thinking to being without actually doing physical action. Okay. You can use this property to become a new person. That's what I'm saying. कि आपको बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ अंदर काम करने से you can become a different person. Okay. And this is what we're going to learn how to do that. Are we clear so far?
Yes.
So what are the
Sir.
3 steps to change? First is thinking. Okay. Which is where you absorb new information. Which part of the brain does the thinking?
Frontal lobe.
हाँ नहीं, वो तो पहले ही हो गया. हमने अपने आप को अवेयरनेस में लाया, हमने सोचा हमें क्या बनना है, फिर एक थॉट को रियल बना दिया. अब जब हम जीवन में कुछ नया सीखते हैं तो सबसे पहले कौन सा ब्रेन यूज करता है कुछ नया सीखने के लिए? नियोकॉर्टेक्स. फिर हमने कुछ नया सीखा तो उसको हमें अप्लाई करने का इंस्पिरेशन मिला, उसको हम अप्लाई करते हैं और फिर एक नया एक्सपीरियंस क्रिएट होता है. नया एक्सपीरियंस क्रिएट होता है तो नया इमोशन क्रिएट होता है. कौन करता है वो?
Big brain.
लिंक बिग ब्रेन. अब वो एक्सपीरियंस को आप रोज रिपीट कर रहे हो और आपको इमोशंस रोज आ रहे हैं. यू कीप फीलिंग इंस्पायर्ड एंड यू कीप डूइंग इट एवरी डे. नाउ इट बिकम्स एन ऑटोमेटिक प्रोसेस. कहाँ पे शिफ्ट होता है अभी वो? To the cerebellum, which is the seat of the subconscious mind. So first process is called what? Thinking. Second process is called what? Doing. And third process is called being. अब आप वो बन गए हो. पहले आप सोच रहे हो, फिर उसको अप्लाई कर रहे हो, फिर आप वो बन गए हो. The good news is that your brain is in such a way that you can directly move from thinking to being. Okay? So you can bring about all the changes in your system simply through meditation techniques. So we're going to learn some very simple meditation techniques to bring about the massive change in our personality. Personality creates a personal reality. Remember that. हमारे जीवन की जो रियलिटी इज ऑलवेज क्रिएटेड बाय आवर पर्सनालिटी. पर्सनालिटी मतलब थॉट्स, फीलिंग्स एंड एक्शंस. ये 3 चीजों में बदलाव लाया तो पर्सनल रियलिटी बदलनी है. द रिजल्ट्स हैव टू चेंज. ओके. नाउ वील कवर वन मोर एस्पेक्ट बिफोर वी एक्चुअली गो इनटू द मेडिटेशन टेक्निक्स. ओके. सो देयर इज वन मोर एस्पेक्ट व्हिच इज कॉल्ड द आइडेंटिटी गैप. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ आइडेंटिटी गैप? So what here we are trying to say is there is a gap between हम अपने आप को दुनिया को जो दिखाते हैं और हम एक्चुअली कौन है. ये दोनों के बीच में एक गैप है. ओके. सो द आइडेंटिटी आई प्रोजेक्ट टू द आउटर एनवायरनमेंट. मैं ऐसा हूं, मैं ये करता हूं, मैं वो करता हूं, तो ये मैं अपने आप को बाहर की दुनिया में आई एम प्रोजेक्टिंग माई सेल्फ एज दिस पर्सन, बट इनसाइड आई एम अ डिफरेंट पर्सन. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड द फसाद. यू सब पीपल पुट अप फसाद हियर, ये दिखाने के लिए, हाँ मैं तो बहुत खुश हूं, मैं तो ये हूं, मैं तो वो हूं, मैं तो ऐसा हूं, मैं वैसा हूं. दैट्स कॉल्ड व्हाट वी अपीयर टू द एक्सटर्नल वर्ल्ड. Who we are is a different person. Inside, how I feel genuinely, मुझे अंदर क्या फीलिंग आते हैं रोज. Who am I really? How I am on the inside. Ideal for self. तो अंदर मैं कौन हूं और मैं अपने आप को क्या प्रोजेक्ट करता हूं, उसमें अगर ज्यादा गैप होगा तो ज्यादा एनर्जी लगेगी कि कम एनर्जी लगेगी. अपने आप को ऐसा दिखाना है. टू मच एनर्जी इज कंज्यूम्ड, क्योंकि अंदर मैं कुछ और हूं और मैं दिखाने की कोशिश कुछ और कर रहा हूं. So it's going to consume a lot of energy to show that I am like this. If I am genuinely what I am, and that is exactly the way I'm presenting myself outside, then there is no energy consumed in doing that. Okay? So that is, मैं ऐसा ही हूं और मैं अपने आप को ऐसे ही दिखा रहा हूं यहाँ पे, तो उसमें कुछ एनर्जी वेस्ट नहीं होती उसके अंदर. दैट इज कॉल्ड द गैप, आइडेंटिटी गैप. So identity gap is the gap between how we appear and who we really are. How we appear is the image or the facade that we project to the world. That self is everything we do in order to show up looking a certain way and to present to others a consistent external reality. हम अपने आप को ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं कि मैं ऐसा हूं या मैं ऐसी हूं. How we really are, represented by the bottom hand, is how we feel, especially when we are not distracted by the external environment. जब हमारे आसपास कोई नहीं होता तो हमारी फीलिंग क्या है एक्चुअली, हमारी सोच क्या है, हम कौन है. अगर वो अलग इंसान है और ये अलग इंसान है तो दोनों को मेंटेन करने में बहुत ज्यादा एनर्जी लगती है. ओके. सो इट इज आवर फेमिलियर इमोशंस व्हेन वी आर नॉट प्री ऑक्यूपाइड बाय लाइफ. सो देन वी स्टार्ट टू फील सर्टेन इमोशंस. Sometimes the feelings could be unhappiness. I'm not happy with what's going on. Sometimes it could be sadness. Yeah, I should have done this way. Sometimes it could be just pure happiness. You're joyful. That's your genuine state of being. But that reality comes out when you are disconnected from the environment, when you're all alone sitting and just looking at your emotions, you will come to know what is the reality. Okay? एक है मैं कि बाहर कुछ प्रोजेक्शन कर रहा हूं, एक है मैं अंदर कुछ और हूं. So it's what we hide about ourselves. We try to hide this reality from other people, okay? Because we want to show that I am more confident, I'm powerful, I'm capable. तो दिखाने के चक्कर में हम एक अपने आप को एक अलग तरह से दिखाते हैं. Okay? So when we memorize addictive emotional states such as guilt, shame, anger, fear, anxiety, judgment, depression, self-importance, hatred, we develop a gap between what we appear and the way we really are. Okay? So this gap happens because ये सारा हमारे अंदर emotions भरा पड़ा होता है. I'm not saying सबके अंदर होता है. I'm just saying in general. Okay? The former is how we want other people to see us. The latter is our state of being when we are not interacting with all the different experiences, diverse things, and assorted people at various times and places in our lives. So, एक है जो हम अपने आप को दिखा रहे हैं और एक है जो हम genuinely है. If we sit long enough without doing anything, we begin to feel something. That something is who we really are. Okay? जब तक हम लाइफ में बिजी होते तब तक ये समझ में नहीं आता है. लेकिन अगर आप 4 दिन कहीं बाहर चले जाओ और शांति से अकेले में बैठे हो तो आपको अंदर से वो फीलिंग समझ में आती है कि यार एक्चुअली तो यार आई एम नॉट दिस वे, आई एम लाइक दिस, आई एम लाइक दैट. सो द गैप इज बिकॉज ऑफ दीज इमोशंस. जो अंदर है उसके वजह से वो गैप्स है और ये हम जनरली बाहर की दुनिया से छुपाने की ट्राई करते हैं. ओके. द साइज ऑफ द गैप वेरीज फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन. who we are really and how we appear are separated by the feelings we have memorized throughout our different points in lives. तो जीवन में अलग अलग एक्सपीरियंसेस के वजह से हमने वो इमोशंस अंदर we have memorized those emotions, and that is why now we have to project ourselves as somebody different from who we really are. The bigger the gap, the greater is the addiction to emotions we memorize. तो ये इमोशंस अब अंदर फंस चुके हैं बॉडी के अंदर, और कितनी सारी हमारी क्रिएटिव एनर्जी वहां पे चली जाती है, बिकॉज वो इमोशंस हमें छोड़ ही नहीं रहे. Okay? So as you unmemorize any emotion, now see, these are the layers of emotion. This is who we are projecting, this is who we really are. There are so many emotions inside. As we start to release these emotions, unworthiness nikal diya, anger nikal diya, so now the gap reduces. Okay? Then you release fear, you release shame. Then what happens? The gap reduces. And eventually, when you release all of these emotions, you become who you really are. So you are not spending any energy in trying to project who you are. You are genuinely who you are. तो आपकी कोई एनर्जी वहां पे वेस्ट नहीं होती, वो सारी एनर्जी आपके क्रिएटिविटी में काम लग सकती है. For most people, what happens is because there's a gap, whole lot of energy is consumed in managing that gap and the emotions which are stuck inside. Okay. The side effects of this phenomena is release of energy in the form of a stored emotion in the body. जैसे वो stored emotion को हमने रिलीज करना शुरू कर दिया, once the mind of that emotion is liberated from the body, the energy is freed up into the quantum field for you to use as a creator. अब आपकी शक्ति दुगनी हो गई, तिगनी हो गई टू क्रिएट समथिंग न्यू. तो इसके लिए हमें क्या करना जरूरी है कि जितने भी इमोशंस हमने अंदर फंसा के रखे हुए सबको रिलीज करना जरूरी है, सारा खत्म करना एक 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 करके. तो सो फार वी हैव बीन डूइंग इट यूजिंग टैपिंग. टैपिंग से क्या होता है, सारे इमोशंस धीरे 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 खाली हो जाते हैं, and you just become genuinely who you are. You don't need to put up anything. You don't need to show yourself as a different person. Now all your energy is used for creative purposes, creating something new. Okay. Are we clear so far? Any questions? Anybody? थोड़ा थियोरेटिकल है, लेकिन हमें पूरा समझ में आता है कि हम एक पर्टिकुलर टाइप के हैं, तो why we are like that, why our energy gets consumed in survival emotions. All of this theory is to basically get you ready for the practice. Okay, so आज हमारा theory पूरा खत्म हो जाएगा. Next time onwards we're going to put into practice how to bring about the actual change. Okay. Okay, so one second. So how do we change? In order to send coherent signals to the quantum field, we need to be bigger than the big three. ये जो तीन चीजें जो हमें रोकती है आगे बढ़ने से, एनवायरनमेंट, बॉडी एंड टाइम, उससे हमें ऊपर उठना पड़ेगा. We also need to get really good at observing ourselves, looking at parts which we want to remove, create an image of the new you, and then make this new reality more than anything else. तो बदलाव कैसे होगा? सबसे पहले अपने आप को देखेंगे हम, आज तक मैं कैसा रहा हूँ या कैसे रही हूँ, मेरे विचार कैसे, हाउ आर माई थॉट्स, what are my emotions, what are my actions. Then you decide how you want to be. You're going to use the creative process to decide how you want to be. And then you're going to use the methods which we're going to teach you to create that without even doing any too much physical action. Okay. So how we accomplish this? The answer is through meditation. Okay. Meditation helps you to move from doer to doer watcher. What is the meaning of this? Right now we are doing things life में, लेकिन मेडिटेशन से क्या होगा, हम करेंगे जरूर, लेकिन हम अपने आप को ऑब्जर्व भी करेंगे, मैं कर क्या रहा हूं, व्हाट एम आई डूइंग. इट्स कॉल्ड डूअर प्लस वॉचर. So for example, if an actor or an athlete wants to improve her performance, she would watch her videos and decide what needs to change. Suppose an actor has done an acting, पूरा मूवी उसका तैयार हो गया, अब उसको अपनी एक्टिव इंप्रूव करनी है, तो क्या करना होगा, उसको अपने आप को ही देखना होगा ना, अपनी मूवी. कि मैंने क्या सही किया, मैंने क्या गलत किया, मुझे यहाँ बदलना चाहिए, मुझे यहाँ पे ये करना चाहिए, तो हम अपने खुद की मूवी देखेंगे कि यहाँ पे कहाँ कहाँ बदलाव आने की जरूरत है. That is the only way we become a different person, by observing ourselves, bringing about, thinking about what changes we want to become. So you are moving from doer to doer watcher. Okay, that is what meditation helps you to do. Now you have to observe yourself so precisely and vigilantly so that you won't allow any unconscious thought, emotion, or behavior to go unnoticed. You can do this with the frontal lobe. आप इतने अवेयर हो जाओगे कि एक भी थॉट आपके इजाजत के बिना अंदर नहीं जा सकता, एक भी एक्शन गलत नहीं जा सकता, एक भी बिहेवियर, एक्शन, इमोशन आपके नॉलेज के बिना अंदर नहीं जाएगा. Right now, what is happening is because we are not aware, things are just happening. They are all going into the subconscious mind. We are reacting, acting, all of this is happening. And now, what you're going to do is you're going to be a very careful watcher and you're going to become a very aware person. Okay. The meditative process for change is to move from unconscious to conscious. Right now, a lot of things are happening for which we are not conscious. हमें पता भी नहीं कि हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं. कोई हमें बोलता है तो समझ में आता है, हाँ मैं ऐसे कर रहा हूं या कर रही हूं. But otherwise, तो we're just doing. We don't even know what we're doing most of the times. Okay. So you are moving from unconscious to conscious. So for that, we are going to use the meditative process. And for that, we need to understand the brain waves. We've already talked about this earlier in our mind power classes, if you remember. But we have 5 different types of waves, brain waves. So delta is the brain wave where the frequency is 0.5 to 4 hertz, where the brain is very, very calm and peaceful. रात को हमें 10 मिनट की delta sleep मिलती है सिर्फ, which is extremely deep state. Or it is also achieved when somebody is unconscious. Okay, कोमा में है, unconscious है, तो उसका brain कौन से state में होता है? Delta state. Theta state is slightly higher, 4 to 7 hertz, where the brain is extremely quiet, and sometimes theta is achieved generally when you go to sleep. Okay, or it is a trance state where absolutely the conscious mind is calm and peaceful. Next state is the alpha state, which we have been using for visualization. That's the 4 to 7 to 14 hertz. Okay, so typically बच्चे जो होते हैं ना, छोटे बच्चे 2 से 5 साल की उम्र में, वो हमेशा थीटा में ही रहते हैं. मतलब उनका ब्रेन इतना शांत होता है, इतना पीसफुल होता है, हमेशा थीटा में रहते हैं. इसलिए हम जो भी बोलते हैं ना, वो सारा उनके ब्रेन में जाता है. देयर इज नो एनालिसिस, देयर इज नो जजमेंट, देयर इज नो रीजनिंग, एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग इनटू देयर ब्रेन्स. Now, as you start growing up, your brain moves into a generally an alpha state. So even between 5 to 8 years, the child's mind is very receptive. There's no conscious mind. There's no logic. अभी भी अंदर जा रहा है सब डायरेक्ट. ओके, द एनालिटिकल माइंड बिगिंस टू फॉर्म हियर एट दिस पॉइंट. धीरे धीरे हमारा एनालिटिकल माइंड तैयार होता है. लॉजिक, ये ऐसे क्यों होता है, वो ऐसे क्यों होता है, ये ऐसे थोड़ी होता है, लॉजिक लगाना शुरू करता है. अदरवाइज तो वो डायरेक्ट रिसीव ही कर लेता है सब कुछ. They start to interpret and draw conclusions about the laws of the external life. And last is the beta state where we are active. So 12 साल की उम्र के बाद जनरली हमारा ब्रेन एक्टिव हो जाता है. कोई भी चीज ऐसे ले नहीं लेगा, वो पहले एनालाइज करेगा, बाद में उसको लेगा. ओके, द डोर बिटवीन द कॉन्शियस एंड सबकॉन्शियस माइंड यूजुअली क्लोजेस. Beta is divided into 3 types of beta: low beta, medium beta, and high range beta. High range beta is where the brain is super active. कुछ बच्चे आपने देखा होगा हाइपर एक्टिव होते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा ब्रेन उनका चलता है. That is called the high beta range. When you are angry, you go into high beta range. When you are normally doing your work, you are in the mid range. And when you are working, you are awake, but you are calm and peaceful, you are in the lower beta range. जब ब्रेन और भी ज्यादा काम हो जाता है तो आप अल्फा स्टेट में चले जाते हो. और भी ज्यादा शांत हो जाता है तो आप थीटा स्टेट में जाते हो. तो हम मेडिटेशन जनरली कहाँ पे करते हैं? अल्फा थीटा स्टेट में, यहाँ पे. where your mind is very calm and peaceful. That is where you disconnect from the big three. You disconnect from environment, you disconnect from body, and you disconnect from time. Okay. To access the subconscious operating system, you need to be in the alpha theta state. Meditation allows you to access these states of the brain. Okay. That is exactly how you go into the brain and you bring about the changes in your brain. See, the idea is to bring about the change. Okay. Okay. So, how many states of mind are there?
5 states.
5 states. सबसे लोएस्ट स्टेट कौन सा है?
Delta.
No. Where your brain is the quietest. हाँ, डेल्टा, करेक्ट. So डेल्टा स्टेट में फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या होती है? 0.5 to 4 hertz. Then from delta you move on to which state?
Theta.
Theta. Typically achieved when you go to sleep, when your mind is absolutely calm and peaceful, brain is peaceful. Then you go on to थोड़ा सा हम जग गए अभी, alpha state. So alpha state is typically the meditative process where your mind is calm and peaceful. Okay. Theta is even a more calmer process. Now from alpha you go into the active state. Which is that state?
Beta.
Beta में कितने ranges हैं? 3 ranges. One is the lower beta. Lower beta में क्या हो रहा है? आप
शांति से काम.
यस, आप शांति से काम करो. फिर मिड रेंज बीटा में क्या होता है?
कॉन्शियसली
यस,
काम हो रहा है.
जैसे यू आर टॉकिंग टू समबडी, यू आर ऑन द फोन, यू आर बिजी, बट आपका माइंड शांत है अभी भी. यू आर नॉट इन द एकदम हाइपर एक्टिव स्टेट. हाइपर एक्टिव स्टेट कहाँ पे जाता है?
हायर बीटा.
हाई रेंज बीटा. When you are like super active, your emotions are very high, you know, that is the high survival range where people have a lot of stress hormones, too many stress hormones. Okay. So meditation के लिए हमें कौन से स्टेट में जाना है? अल्फा एंड थीटा, दोनों के रेंज बीच में जाना है, अल्फा थीटा. Okay. So meditation shifts your brain into a more coherent and an orderly wave pattern. Because now your mind is not disturbed. So your brain becomes very calm and peaceful. You will go from focusing on the big three to becoming no body, no thing, no time. जब हम बीटा स्टेट में होते हैं तो हमारा पूरा फोकस बाहर की दुनिया में होता है. जब हम अल्फा थीटा में जाते हैं तो हमारा पूरा फोकस अंदर की दुनिया में होता है, जहां पे देयर इज नो बॉडी, नो थिंग, no time, no space, no sense, nothing. You're inside. Here you begin to feel connected, whole, balanced, and you experience healthier, elevated emotions of trust, joy, and inspiration. इसलिए अंदर जाना जरूरी है. हम अपना पूरा समय बाहर की दुनिया में निकालेंगे तो your focus is on what percentage?
0.0000.
खाली इतनी संभावनाएं हमारे पास है. लेकिन जब हम अंदर जाते हैं तो कितने परसेंटेज पे जाते हैं हम? 99.99999999. Okay. The best time to meditate is before sleeping and after getting up in the morning. At this time, the door to the subconscious mind is wide open. This is where you can bring about big changes. Having embodied knowledge, you are now prepared to for the experience. हमने लास्ट सेशन में पूरा सीखा, आज भी हमने पूरा सीखा. नाउ वी आर रेडी फॉर द एक्सपीरियंस. ये सारा नॉलेज हमारे पास होता है तो उसको हम और अच्छी तरह से कर पाएंगे. मैं आपको सिर्फ बोलूं चलो आंखें बंद करो, मेडिटेट करो, तो आपको लगेगा सब क्या हो रहा है, क्यों करना है मुझे. बट इफ यू हैव द नॉलेज बिहाइंड इट, देन यू आर रेडी फॉर द एक्सपीरियंस. Remember, knowledge is always a forerunner to experience. When you have the knowledge, then you feel like doing it. You say, wow, this will make a sense. I will be able to change. This is what I'll be able to do. So all the information you have learned so far is to help you understand what exactly will happen in the entire process of change. पूरा डिटेल में आपको समझ में आए. You already know now. तो आप मेडिटेशन करोगे तभी भी आपको समझ में आएगा कि एग्जैक्टली आप क्या कर रहे हो. So let's get ready for the transformation. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Okay. So the meditative process, the main purpose of meditation is to remove your attention from the big three: environment, body, and time, so that your focus is only on what you intend to create and nothing else. आपका ध्यान कहाँ पे होगा? जो आपको क्रिएट करना है. You can change your internal state independent of the outside world. बाहर की दुनिया में कुछ भी हो रहा है होने दो, लेकिन आप अपने अंदर की मन की अवस्था को बदल सकते. यू कैन चेंज योर स्टेट ऑफ माइंड. Meditation allows you to go beyond the conscious mind so that you can access the subconscious mind where all changes need to happen. The steps we'll carry out in the meditative process can be used to change any aspect of your life. Any, whether it's health, relationships, your work, results in your work, everywhere you can use the same process, okay? We will do the process one step at a time so that it does not get overwhelming. So here we are going to do a different type of meditation. It is going to have 7 steps. We're going to learn all the steps step by step and gradually become an expert at that. जैसे आपको कोई खाना, कोई पर्टिकुलर डिश बनानी है, पाव भाजी बनाना है, तो आपको पूरा रेसिपी दिया जाता है ना, ये खरीदो, ये लेके आओ, फिर काटो, फिर ये करो, फिर मिक्स करो, फिर ये करो, वो करो. सो पहली बार आप रेसिपी सीखते हो तो यू हैव टू डू इट स्टेप बाय स्टेप बाय स्टेप बाय स्टेप बाय स्टेप. But when you keep doing that recipe again and again and again, you don't have to do step by step. You're just doing it, as if it's one process. Same way in this case also, the meditation is going to be 7 steps, but we'll practice the 7 steps so much that it looks like one to you, okay? That's exactly what we're going to do. So a few things about meditation. So it's like learning how to cook a dish one step at a time, and you master it so well that eventually all steps merge into one and you are able to cook the dish in half the time. Same is the case with the meditative process. Okay, there are going to be 7 steps in the meditative process now. The first step is called induction. So induction is the process where you will learn how to go into the alpha theta state in a different way. अभी तक हमने अलग सीखा था, थोड़ा सा अलग मेथड से हम जाएंगे. So induction does what? It takes you into which state? कौन से अवस्था में लेके जाता?
Alpha.
Alpha theta, okay? After that, you're going to do the metacognition. You're going to observe yourself. कि आज तक मैं कैसा रहा हूं? That is called the recognizing phase. Okay. Third step is where you're going to decide that these are the parts of me which I want to let go of. इसको हम कहते हैं admitting and declaring. So I will share with you how to do that. Okay. तो हम ये डिसाइड करेंगे कि ये चीज जो मेरे अंदर है, ये इमोशन है, उसको मुझे निकाल देना है once and for all. I don't want to keep that emotion because it's hurting me badly. Like for example, anger. I want to let go of this anger once and for all. I want to let go of these worries. I want to let go of all these tensions. Okay. Step number 4 is you're going to give this away. All these emotions, you're going to give it away in the process. Okay. कैसे करना है इसको हम कहते हैं surrendering. इसको हम दे देते हैं, ये पूरी एनर्जी हमारे अंदर से रिलीज कर देते हैं. Step number 5 is you're going to now observe yourself throughout the day. अगर वो इमोशन वापस आया तो उसको कैसे बदलना. इट्स नॉट अबाउट ओनली इन द मॉर्निंग हमने कुछ अच्छा किया, रात को अच्छा किया, दिन भर हम कुछ अलग इंसान है. नो, यू गोइंग टू क्रिएट द न्यू पर्सन इन योर माइंड इन द मॉर्निंग. बी अवेयर थ्रू आउट द डे. If you are again going back to the old pattern, you're going to learn how to change it. Okay, so you're constantly observing and reminding yourself. Step number 6 is if you see yourself going back into the old habitual pattern, you're going to redirect yourself into the new self. And lastly, you're going to create your new self now, and you're going to keep practicing the new self until you become the new person. Okay, so if you अलग अलग देखते तो बहुत बड़ा दिखता है. तो simple this, you'll go into the deep state. We'll look at ourselves. These are the aspects which I feel are not working for me. They're not helpful to me. I want to let go of this and I want to create this. So what you're going to do is you're going to decide what you want to let go and you're going to let it go in the meditative process. Okay. And then you're going to decide who you want to become and you're going to create that in your mind until it becomes a reality. वो आप तब तक करते रहोगे जब तक ये आपके लिए सच हो जाता है. Okay. ये पूरा process is defined in this one meditation. This will take care of everything. Okay. So don't worry about the steps. I'm going to take you through every step one by one so that you understand in detail. Remember, all the knowledge you have learned so far is going to help you to understand each step and the meaning behind each step. जब कोई चीज के पीछे उसका मकसद पता होता है, उसका मीनिंग पता होता है, तो हमारा माइंड और अच्छी तरह से काम करता है. सपोज मैं आपको कहूं ये करो और आप करोगे भी, उसमें इतना रिजल्ट नहीं मिलेगा जब मैं आपको बताऊं आपको ये करना है, इसके वजह से करना है क्योंकि इससे ये फायदा होगा. Then your mind will work in a very different way. So whenever you assign a meaning or purpose to something, the results are much better. Okay. So help you to understand each step and behind each step. You already have the scientific and philosophical understanding of each step. So which we have learned the entire process so far about the universe, about the quantum field. You understood how your thoughts and feelings affect your results. You understood the brain, the frontal lobe. You understood the three brains. All of these things are now going to help you to actually practice this meditation in a better way. Okay. So preparation for each step of meditation is important so that once you're in, you know exactly what you need to do. Any questions so far? Are we good so far?
Yes.
So what are we trying to do? We are trying to bring about a shift in our personality. Personality consists of three things. What are the three things in personality? Personality has three components. Which are the three components? Pehla?
Environment, memories.
No. Those are the factors we have to overcome. हमारी पर्सनालिटी किससे डिटरमिन होती है? सबसे पहले सोच, thoughts, behavior,
Yes.
and your feelings. Your
Feeling.
personality is determined by three things: thoughts, feeling, and actions. आपकी नई पर्सनालिटी में आपके विचार अलग होंगे, आपके फीलिंग्स अलग होंगे और आपके एक्शंस अलग होंगे. विल यू सी अ डिफरेंट रिजल्ट?
Yes.
Yes. So we are trying to create a new personality which will change your personal reality. Are we clear? This is the process you want to do. Change your personality so that you can change your personal reality. Okay. So now let us go into the detailed process of how we're going to do this. Today I'm going to cover only one step, okay, which is the induction process. So few things that we have to take care of in meditation. So there will be some writing to be done for each step. So keep a notebook and pen ready. अभी इस बार जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन next time onwards, please keep one notebook where you're going to note down all the changes you want to make in yourself, the kind of shift you want to bring in your personality. पूरा बदलाव क्या क्या लाना है एक बुक में आप पूरा लिखिए. Please don't write it on different pieces of paper, okay? Otherwise, you will not be able to understand what kind of changes are happening. So preparing your, I will in fact send you a manual, okay, like a workbook. तो उसको आप print करके उसमें सारा लिखो. So preparing your environment. As we have learned, overcoming the environment is a critical step in the transformation process. So when you meditate, find a quiet place. Quiet nature, it should be quiet, okay? Quiet place with minimum distractions. So when you do this meditation process every morning, please sit in a place where there is minimal distractions. Try to make it a scheduled, a secluded, private and easily accessible space. तो घर में एक जगह डिसाइड करो जहां पे आप रोज बैठ के अपना मेडिटेशन का प्रोसेस करोगे. और जो मैं बताऊंगा रोज आप वो फॉलो करोगे. Go to the same space every day and make it your sacred space, because this is where you're going to bring about big changes in your life, okay, in your results. Do make sure there are no external distractions. Switch off your cell phones. You can use some music unless it does not remind you of distracting associations. अब आप ऐसा कोई गाना लगाओगे जिससे आपको अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड याद आएगी तो फिर परेशानी होगी, ओके? या बॉयफ्रेंड याद आएगा तो परेशानी होगी. जनरली हमारे लाइफ के साथ में कुछ म्यूजिक एसोसिएट होता है हमेशा. इफ यू रिमेंबर ओल्ड सॉन्ग यू विल रिमेंबर द एक्सपीरियंसेस दैट हैपेंड टू यू इन योर लाइफ एट दैट टाइम, ओके? सो आपके शादी में जो गाना बजा था पर अभी बजेगा ना तो आपको शादी याद आ जाएगी. सो तरह मेरा जीवन कोरा कागज बजाओगे तो फिर वो सारे वो सब याद आ जाएगा पुराना, ओके? सो वी हैव टू डोंट प्ले द सच म्यूजिक व्हिच हैज एसोसिएशंस, because you want to be away from all those distractions. So if you want to play some light instrumental music, nice music, okay, which can keep you calm and peaceful. No mobile phones, no external distractions, sitting in a nice quiet place and preparing your body in the right way to do meditation, okay? Use a proper posture. Spine should be straight. Hands and legs should not be crossed. Okay? So you can sit on the floor if you want to. Whenever you are at home, आप ground पे बैठे हो, you can cross your legs when you're sitting on the floor. That is called Padmasana or Sukhasana. चेयर पे जब आप बैठे हो तो हैंड्स एंड लेग्स क्रॉस नहीं करना है. Okay? जितना हो सके कंफर्टेबल क्लोथिंग में बैठना है. रिमूव योर वॉच, ऑल द मेटेलिक आइटम्स जितना हो सके. ड्रिंक सम वाटर. टेक केयर ऑफ योर हंगर. अगर भूख लगी है तब मेडिटेशन नहीं हो सकता है, ओके? नहीं तो खाना याद आएगा मेडिटेशन के टाइम में, कुछ मेडिटेशन होगा नहीं. ओके, सो ऑल ऑफ दिस शुड बी टेकन केयर ऑफ बिफोर यू एक्चुअली गो इनटू द मेडिटेटिव स्टेट. So when is the best time to meditate? Before sleeping and arising in the morning. So please make some time in the morning for yourself. How long? The entire meditation would take between 40 to 50 minutes. जो प्रोसेस में आपको बताऊंगा, it will take 1 hour plus your exercise time, half an hour, 45 minutes. तो ये 1.5-2 घंटा आपको अपने लिए खुद निकालना है अर्ली मॉर्निंग. उसके लिए जल्दी उठना पड़े, उठो, वो करना है करो. अगर बड़ा बदलाव चाहिए तो बड़ा कुछ अलग करना पड़ेगा. Preparing your state of mind. Take a few minutes to review the steps before you get into the meditation. मेडिटेशन से में जाने से पहले आपको डिसाइड करके जाना है कि आज कौन सा इमोशन निकालना है मुझे अपने अंदर से. तो आप डिसाइड कर सकते हो आज मुझे गुस्सा निकालना है, पूरा जो गुस्सा अंदर भरा पड़ा है निकालना है. आज मुझे चिंताएं निकालनी है, आज मुझे ये निकालना है. तो यू गोइंग टू डिसाइड, यू गोइंग टू कीप अ गोल फॉर योर मेडिटेशन, ओके? रिमाइंड योरसेल्फ ऑफ द पर्पस ऑफ द मेडिटेशन. इफ योर बॉडी डिस्ट्रैक्ट्स यू, कीप परसिस्टिंग अंटिल यू गिव इन. कभी कभी बॉडी हमें बहुत परेशान करता है, ये ऐसा मूव करने का मन, ऐसा मूव करने का मन, ऐसा होता है वैसा होता है. धीरे धीरे आपको अपने बॉडी को इतना ट्रेन करना है कि योर बॉडी स्टार्ट्स टू फॉलो योर कमांड्स. अदरवाइज द बॉडी विल सो आई फील पेन, आई फील दिस, आई फील दैट, वो सब चालू होता है उसका, ओके? सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू प्रैक्टिस द इंडक्शन प्रोसेस. इंडक्शन प्रोसेस में वी आर गोइंग फ्रॉम the beta state to the alpha state, alpha theta state. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we are all going to go into alpha theta state. Relaxing is good, going to sleep is good, but snoring is not good, okay? So in the conference room if somebody is snoring, then please pat their back a little and wake them up, okay? So
Sir, before this start, I have one questions. या फिर लास्ट में पूछ लेता हूँ, अभी शांति से करते हैं.
नहीं पूछ लो, आप पूछ लो, क्योंकि फिर अंदर
सर,
मेडिटेशन जाने के बाद
जैसे कि भाई
गड़बड़
मैं
हो.
बहुत दिनों से पूछना चाह रहा था कि क्या होता है ना कि जैसे सोचते हैं वैसा होता है, बट हम लोग ट्रेड लेते हैं वो लॉस में क्यों जाता है?
क्या लेते हैं तो
जैसे अपने प्रोसेस के हिसाब से या फिर ह्यूमन बीइंग के हिसाब से ये सब जैसे अपन सोच करते हैं उसी सोच के हिसाब से वो सब कुछ हो जाता है, बट ट्रेड लेते हैं उसमें लॉस क्यों होता है? वो ट्रेड हमारे हिसाब से क्रेडिट होता है, तो आपको प्रॉफिट
विश्वनाथ, क्योंकि उसमें कुछ लोगों ने पुट लेके रखा होगा।
ये मेरे को क्वेश्चन सर बहुत दिनों से आया था, मैं बोला शांति से पूछेंगे।
तो आपको उसको बदलना है कि सेम रखना है? बदलना है ना? Somewhere our personality has to change.
ओके,
To change. Maybe our thinking has to change. Maybe our emotions have to change. Maybe our actions have to change. Something has to change if we have to get the level of profits that we expect out of the deals. Okay. But does that mean that it will be always profitable? No, that's a part of life. It's a game. It's something where we are playing. And sometimes you lose, sometimes you will gain, as long as your graph is going up. Graph should not be like this. Okay. The graph, okay, let me just pin myself so you understand what I'm saying. The graph should not be like this. The graph should be like this. So भले आप ऊपर जा रहे हो, थोड़ा नीचे जा रहे हो, लेकिन फिर भी आप ऊपर ही जा रहे हो. So that's the goal. थोड़ा नीचे ऊपर नीचे तो होगा ही लाइफ में, लेकिन ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. This is dangerous. You go up and you go dangerously down. That's a very dangerous process. Okay. So that's what we have to ensure. That happens when your state of mind is good. When your state of mind is good, you will see typically you're able to manage when things come up. Okay. Does that answer, Vishwanath?
गॉट इट बॉस, गॉट इट,
Good, good.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू.
तो सब ऑनलाइन वाले वीडियो ऑन रखो, नहीं तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आएगा कि आप अल्फा में हो, थीटा में हो, बीटा में हो, डेल्टा में हो, कहाँ पे हो. और ड्राइविंग कर रहे हो तो प्लीज मत जाइए अल्फा अल्फा में. प्लीज डोंट. You should not go to alpha when you are driving or when you are operating some machinery. So बाकी सारे लोग सिर्फ सुनो जो ड्राइविंग कर रहे हैं, बाकी सारे लोग एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिस करो. ओके. So what we are going to do in this meditation is called the space meditation. In the space meditation, we are going to move from closed focus to open focus. What is the meaning of closed focus? Right now, the focus is on what is there around you. आपके जीवन के ऊपर आपका फोकस है. That's called closed focus, focusing on 0.0000001%. You are going to move from closed focus to open focus. Open focus matlab you're going to open up your mind completely. There is no limitations of any sort. So that's why this meditation is called space meditation. Because one place where you can see everything open is space. Let me show you the picture, okay? So you understand what I mean by space meditation. Just give me one moment. Okay, so if I show you this picture here, can you see the picture?
Yes, sir.
Do you see space here? ब्रह्मांड बोला तो वो बीच वाला स्पेस नहीं, स्पेस बोला तो स्पेस. So now, when you look at this space, can your mind be limited?
No.
Because there is no limit to the number of stars, number of galaxies, number of planets. So you are moving your attention from close focus to open focus. और रिसर्च ये कहता है कि the moment you move to open focus, your mind goes into the creative mode instantly. So it moves from survival mode to creative mode. Okay. Now let me just change this picture and see if can you see a different picture now or the same picture? Different picture. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to visualize ourselves in space. हम स्पेस में पहुंच गए. ओके. And then you are going to imagine the space that your body is occupying in space. No, the body is no longer there. लेकिन आपका बॉडी कितना जगह रोक रहा है वहां पे, वो आप विजुलाइज करोगे. Now you have seen the eyes first. You are visualizing the eyes in space. Then you are focusing on the space occupied by eyes in space. Space occupied by eyes in space. Volume occupied by your eyes in space. जैसे ही आपका ध्यान स्पेस पे जाता है और सारी ओपन चीजों पे जाता है, आपका माइंड पूरा खुल जाता है. And you will see for yourself how you quickly drop into the alpha theta state. Okay, so these are just examples. This is the volume occupied by the eyes. How much actual volume is occupied? This is the volume occupied by your body. The body is not there, but the volume you can visualize. Okay, so this is exactly how we are going to visualize in this meditation. You're going to move from close focus to open focus. Are we ready? चलिए, everybody
Yes.
relaxation position. आराम से बैठ जाइए. Please remove your spectacles. You can reduce the lighting in the room. Please keep your chin as straight as possible. And I'm going to just mute everybody so that there is no noise in the background. Okay. So everybody, just sit up straight. Make sure your spine is straight. Hands and legs are not crossed. Gently close your eyes and start taking deep, long breaths. लंबी और गहरी सांसें लेना शुरू करें. And keep all your attention focused on your breathing. Focus all your attention to the tip of your nose so that you are aware of the air which is moving in and the air which is moving out of your nose. आपका पूरा ध्यान, आपका awareness should be on your breath. And now move your awareness to the center of your chest. आपका ध्यान कहाँ पे शिफ्ट करना है? चेस्ट के सेंटर में. And imagine that you're now breathing into your heart and exhaling from your heart. जब आप सांस अंदर लेते हो तो through the center of the chest the air goes into the heart, and when you exhale the air is coming out of your heart from the center of your chest. Inhale into your heart and exhale from your heart. Inhale into your heart and exhale from your heart. Make your breath a little deeper and little longer than normal. आपका पूरा ध्यान should be on the center of your chest. You're breathing air into the heart and you're exhaling from your heart. Now think about any one positive emotion, or it is called elevated emotion, such as gratitude, appreciation, peace, compassion, love, care. कोई भी एक इमोशन सिलेक्ट करिए, जैसे कि समझो फॉर एग्जांपल टुडे लेट अस टेक पीस. So visualize that you are breathing in peace and exhaling peace from your heart. In order to create this feeling of peace, think about a situation where you felt really peaceful. For example, when you went to a hill station, तो उस चीज को आपके माइंड में याद करिए और उस समय जो आपको मन में शांति लगी थी उसको क्रिएट करिए. And imagine that you are inhaling peace into your heart and exhaling peace from your heart. Focus your attention on that situation or event which helped you to create that level of peace. Inhale peace and exhale peace. When you exhale peace from your heart, visualize that that peace is spreading into your entire office and also spreading into your entire home. Inhale and exhale. As you start to inhale and exhale peace from your heart, you see that your heart becomes completely coherent, absolutely peaceful. And once your heart becomes peaceful, it sends signals to the brain, where the brain also becomes coherent and peaceful. Feel the peace in your heart and feel the peace in your brain. At this stage, both your heart and your brain have become completely coherent. And now that your heart and brain have become coherent and are in alignment, we will do the space meditation. Can you imagine the space between your eyes in space? तो यहाँ पे आपको विजुलाइज करना है, you are able to see your eyes in space and you are focusing on the space between your eyes. Can you become aware of the volume occupied by the space between your eyes in space? Can you become aware of the space between your two ears in space? And can you notice the volume occupied by this space in space? Can you imagine an infinite black field behind your eyes in space? Can you become aware of the volume occupied by this infinite black field in space? And can you notice your lungs in space? And can you become aware of the volume occupied by your lungs in space? And can you notice the space between your kidneys in space? And can you sense the energy of this space between your two kidneys in space? And now, can you become aware of your entire body in space? And can you notice the volume occupied by your body in space? And now, can you become aware of the space around your body in space? And can you notice the volume occupied by the space around your body in space. And can you notice or become aware of all of space in space? And can you become aware of the volume occupied by all of space in space? And now it is time to become no body, no time, no space, no where, and no thing. It is time to become pure consciousness. Feel your connection to the infinite field which interconnects the entire universe together. You are part of this field. You are not separate. This field is where infinite possibilities exist. It is the 99.99999999% of the universe. And as you are connected with the field, you feel completely whole, complete, feel the oneness, the interconnect, you're connected with everything. This is the place for creating a new life, a new personal reality, and a new personality. In order to connect with the quantum field, you have to become pure consciousness. No body, no time, no where, no thing. Now, bring your awareness back to your body. Become completely aware of your breath once again. आपके सांसों के ऊपर ध्यान दीजिए. Become aware of where your legs are touching the ground. Become aware of the gentle movements of your abdomen going up and down. Bring yourself back into your body, your new body, new time, and new reality. And when you're ready, you can just rub your palms. Then, जब आप ready हो, you can open your eyes. And have a little bit of water. Tell me, how are you feeling now? कैसा लग रहा है सबको? If you can just unmute the conference room, this thing audio. Yeah.
Yes.
Feeling relaxed?
Yes.
Did you see the infinite possibilities that open up when you move from close focus to open focus? So when you move to open focus, your conscious mind stops analyzing. And when it stops analyzing, you automatically enter into the subconscious mind. कैसा लगा ब्रुगेश जी?
सर बहुत सारे थॉट्स आने लग चालू हो गए, मतलब मन शांति नहीं हो रहा है।
कोई बात नहीं, पहले पहले होता है।
आंखें आंखें बंद करके ब्रीदिंग पे फोकस किया, वहां तक सब ठीक था। जैसे स्टेज आगे गया तो थॉट्स स्टार्ट कमिंग।
कोई बात नहीं। The best way to deal with thoughts, you should not try to stop thoughts, because if you try to stop thoughts, more thoughts will come. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to treat thoughts as something which is coming and going. Like how you have clouds coming in the sky and going away. तो उसके ऊपर हमें ध्यान नहीं देना है, उसको आने देना है, जाने देना है, आने देना है, जाने देना है, आने देना है, जाने देना है। हमारा ध्यान कहाँ होना चाहिए? ब्रीदिंग पे। हमारा ध्यान कहाँ होना चाहिए? स्पेस पे। विचार को आने दो, जाने दो, आने दो, जाने दो। जैसे क्लाउड्स आर कमिंग एंड गोइंग. Over a few days, as we practice this, you will see those thoughts will settle down on their own. There's a very simple policy or philosophy you can say. Whatever you try to resist will persist. जिसको हम रोकने की कोशिश करेंगे और ज्यादा आएगा, तो रोकना नहीं है उसको, है ना? तो उसको आने देना है, जाने देना है। जैसे आप प्लेटफॉर्म पे खड़े हो तो दूर से ट्रेन आ रही है और ट्रेन प्लेटफॉर्म पे आके जा रही है। Same way, the train of thoughts are coming and going, coming and going. Don't worry about it. Just focus on your breathing. Okay. So next time आप थोड़ा वो ट्राई करिए, उसको रेजिस्ट मत करिए, आने दो, जाने दो. Okay. Good. How is everybody feeling in the conference room?
सर ऐसा फील हुआ कि इतना टाइम कभी भी शांति से बैठे ही नहीं, मतलब माइंड इतना टाइम शांति से कभी रहा ही नहीं, ऐसा फील हुआ।
Boy, that means we are always
जितना
in.
जितना टाइम ये मेडिटेशन चला सर, जितना उतना टाइम ऐसा फील हुआ कि माइंड अभी जो शांत हुआ ना, वैसा शांत कभी, मतलब इतना थॉट्स कंटिन्यूस चलता ही रहता।
Yes, वही मैं कह रहा हूँ। देखो आप इतना समय से, we have just spent only 5 to 10 minutes. Still you feel a little better, no, than what you were earlier. So if we just spend some concentrated time and effort every day, imagine the magic. Right now, it is only the first step of going into the alpha theta state. Now, what you are going to do is we are going to create a whole new reality. We are going to move from thinking to being and become a completely different person. In few days, you will say that for me to just, I close my eyes and I am in space instantly. So when you are in space, unlimited opportunities open up for you. There's no limitations to what you can create. Okay. Otherwise, it is limited to what is happening around us. Good. Any questions before we end the session today?
No.
Okay. So can we do a quick recap of what we have learned? So the first thing is, we are all connected to this one field. What is this field called?
Quantum field.
The quantum field. Very good. How many possibilities exist in the quantum field?
Infinite.
Infinite possibilities. And we have a way to impact the quantum field. तो कौन सी दो चीजें हमारे अंदर है जिससे क्वांटम फील्ड को असर होता है?
Thoughts and feelings.
Very good. So using the thoughts and feelings, what kind of a signal is created? Electromagnetic field. Very good. Where does the electro come from? The mind. And where does the magnet come from?
Thoughts.
Heart. Correct? So thoughts and feelings. So brain and heart. When both of them, जब भी हमें कोई सिग्नल ठीक से भेजना है तो दोनों का क्या होना चाहिए? दोनों का कोहेरेंस होना चाहिए, अलाइनमेंट में होना चाहिए। अदरवाइज थॉट्स कहीं और है, फीलिंग्स कहीं और है, तो कुछ ज्यादा कुछ होता नहीं है. ओके. Now three big things force us to think in a particular way. What are the big things?
Environment, body, and time.
Environment, body and time. Environment में क्या होता है?
Surrounding.
सुबह से शाम तक जो चलते रहता है, all that is environment. Okay. Nothing changes. Okay. When I was first time when my teacher told me to think about it, and I said, यार कुछ चेंज नहीं होता है. सुबह उठ के करते हैं, शाम तक वही करते हैं, सुबह उठ के वापस वही साइकिल में हम आ जाते हैं. Right? So that was a big realization for me actually. Okay, that how thoughts don't change. Second is body. What does body mean?
Emotions.
Emotions. Which are these emotions? Which are stuck.
Memorize it.
Memorized emotions, correct. These are emotions which are stuck inside us because of past experiences, and we kept feeling those same emotions again and again. और जैसा हम इमोशन फील करते हैं वैसा ही हम सोचते हैं, और वो थॉट्स वापस इमोशन क्रिएट होता है, तो वी गेट स्टक इन द थिंकिंग फीलिंग लूप, एंड वो इमोशंस हमारे अंदर स्टक हो जाते हैं, एंड द बॉडी एडिक्टेड टू दोज इमोशंस नाउ. उसके बिना चलता नहीं उसको. जैसे कुछ लोगों को चाय भी पिए बिना चलता नहीं है, रात को कुछ और लिए बिना चलता नहीं है, वैसे हमारे बॉडी को इमोशंस के बिना नहीं चलता है. ओके. एंड थर्ड इज व्हाट? टाइम. व्हाई टाइम? बिकॉज either the mind is in the past or the mind is in the
Future.
future. But what kind of future?
Predictable future.
Predictable. हम सोचते हैं कि ऐसा ही होगा, लेकिन हम
Right.
there are multiple possibilities, but our mind is stuck in the predictable future. तो हमें कुछ नया करना है, तो we have to be above these three factors: body, environment, and time. And then we said all the apparatus, all the equipment God has given us inside to make these changes. So the first we started looking at which part of the brain? Frontal lobe. तो फ्रंटल लोब से हम अपने जीवन में बदलाव ला सकते हैं, क्योंकि फ्रंटल लोब का पहला काम क्या है?
Information collect करना.
नहीं, दैट इज
Also, अच्छा neocortex.
मेटाकॉग्निशन. रिमेंबर, फ्रंटल लोब का काम, सबसे पहला काम क्या है? मेटाकॉग्निशन. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ मेटाकॉग्निशन? अपने आप को देखना. अपने आप को देखना का मीनिंग क्या है? सेल्फ अवेयरनेस. तो सबसे पहला काम अपना फ्रंटल लोब का क्या है? मेटाकॉग्निशन. टू बी एबल टू लुक एट अवर ओन सेल्फ and see that this is good, this is not so good, I need to remove this, I need to keep this, I need to increase this. तो ये सारा हम बाहर से जो स्टडी करते हैं, इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? मेटाकॉग्निशन. That's the first part of your frontal lobe. What is the second role of the frontal lobe?
Step of creation.
To create something new. कि मैं आज तक ऐसा रहा हूं, अब मुझे ऐसा बनना है. That is creation. And third,
Make this into reality.
making that thought so real. जो आपको बनना है उसका थॉट को इतना ज्यादा रियल बना दिया कि हमको लगता है कि हम ऑलरेडी वो हो चुके हैं. तो जब वो एक थॉट को रियल कर देता है, तो व्हाट डज इट डू? इट लोअर्स द वॉल्यूम कंट्रोल एवरीवेयर एल्स, एंड योर ब्रेन इज फोकस्ड ऑन दैट वन थॉट ओनली. So it lowers the volume control everywhere, and your brain thinks as if you already become that person. And then you keep doing that every day until the new neurological hardware is installed and you become a different person. So you move from, generally there are 3 steps to change. First is thinking. Second is
doing.
Experience.
and doing being. So thinking, then doing, then being. Thinking is done by which brain?
Neocortex.
Doing is done by which brain?
Limbic brain.
Limbic brain, which also creates the emotions. And then which is the brain which takes you into being? मतलब आपको कुछ ज्यादा Cerebellum is the seat of the subconscious mind. एक बार वो प्रोग्राम सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में चला गया, तो आपको ज्यादा दिमाग लगाने की जरूरत, ऑटोमेटिक करते हो आप वो चीज. जैसे ड्राइविंग आप ऑटोमेटिक करते हो, आप खाना बनाते हो तो वो भी ऑटोमेटिक प्रोसेस होता है. एवरीथिंग इज ऑटोमेटिक. टू डूइंग टू बीइंग. बट विथ God's grace, we have equipment to directly move from thinking to being. बिना फिजिकल मेहनत के बिना हम अपनी सोच को बदल सकते हैं. ओके, दैट इज बेसिकली मूविंग फ्रॉम थिंकिंग टू बीइंग. तो डायरेक्टली हम उसको चेंज कर सकते हैं, और उसको करने के लिए हम कौन सा प्रोसेस यूज करेंगे? मेडिटेशन.
Meditative process.
मेडिटेशन यूज करेंगे. तो मेडिटेशन के लिए हमने कुछ सीखा कि वी हैव 5 टाइप्स ऑफ ब्रेन वेव्स.
Yes.
Topmost is highest frequency is, we didn't talk about gamma actually. Gamma is far above beta. So gamma frequency is the highest एकदम. उसके बाद बीटा, बीटा के बाद
Alpha, theta,
थीटा, थीटा के बाद
theta,
डेल्टा.
delta.
So these are the 5 brain waves. In order to disconnect from the big three, disconnect from environment, body and time, you have to go into which state? Alpha theta state. उस अवस्था में जैसे आप जाओगे तो आप पूरी दुनिया से डिस्कनेक्ट हो जाओगे, और वहां पे आप बन जाते हो प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस. प्योर कॉन्शियसनेस जैसे आप बनते हो तो आप क्वांटम फील्ड के साथ जुड़ जाते हो. क्वांटम फील्ड के साथ जुड़ गए तो इनफाइनाइट पॉसिबिलिटीज एग्जिस्ट. तो हम वहां पे जाएंगे नहीं तो क्वांटम फील्ड को टच कैसे करेंगे? इसलिए रोज जाना जरूरी है, क्वांटम फील्ड से कनेक्ट होना जरूरी है, ताकि आप नया जीवन, नए रिजल्ट्स, नया लाइफ, नई हेल्थ, नए रिलेशनशिप्स आप क्रिएट कर सकते हो. सो देन वी टॉक्ड अबाउट हाउ मेनी स्टेप्स इन द मेडिटेशन प्रोसेस? 7 steps, in which we learned only the first step today. Which is the first step? Induction. Induction is the process of going into which state?
Alpha.
Theta state. Now we use a particular type of meditation. Which meditation did we use today?
Space.
Space meditation. Very good. What is the purpose of space meditation?
Going from a closed state to an open state.
Yes, to move from closed focus to open focus. Closed focus मतलब हमारे बाहर की दुनिया पे फोकस. और बाहर की दुनिया पूरे ब्रह्मांड का कितना परसेंटेज है?
0.0001.
तो हमारा इतने ही ऊपर फोकस रहता है हमेशा. We need to now move that focus to open focus. Open focus कितना है ब्रह्मांड?
99.9.
So we are going to move from close focus to open focus. इसलिए हम क्या कहते हैं? Can you become aware of your eyes in space? तो eyes के ऊपर ध्यान दोगे तो इसको कहते हैं closed focus. And the moment you move it to space, becomes open focus. If you say, can you become aware of the space between your eyes? Now, eyes भूल गए आप, उसके बीच वाला space के ऊपर ध्यान दे रहे हो. You become open focus. And that too in space. So basically this meditation designed, these meditations are generally done by Tibetan monks, Buddhist monks. Okay, और basically हमारे इंडिया से ही आया है, लेकिन फाइनली ये सब पैकेज रीपैकेज होके वापस आता है हमारे पास. ओके, बट बेसिकली इट इज फोकसिंग ऑन open focus. So when you do that, your mind becomes absolutely calm and peaceful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will send you one meditation for practice every day. Practice to go into the alpha theta state. That's it. करेंगे इतना रोज? 10-15 मिनट लगेगा उसको. करेंगे?
Yes. But we can do this in the evening also, na?
Yes. Evening also. You can even do it while traveling back home. You can only not do it when you're driving.
Yeah. No, but before you said that we can go twice into meditative state, once in the morning and once before going to sleep, right? So if we do it in the evening, it's okay, right?
Best एकदम सोने से पहले. एकदम perfect. Okay. The reason I generally ask to do it in the mornings also is because mornings your mind is even more fresher, because your mind is like so fresh in the morning. So going into the deep alpha theta becomes even more easier. But it's okay. If you're not able to do in the morning, तो कम से कम रात को करो उसको. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, my brain works little differently. It is very active from 5 p.m. in the evening to midnight. That's how I am wired, probably.
Mine is total reverse.
Yeah.
It is from morning 4:30 to till evening 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
After that, relax.
We are wired differently. I think
So
that's
we have
all.
to actually not look at the time when our brains are active. We have to look at when the brain is calm and peaceful.
Okay.
जहाँ पे हमारा माइंड शांत हो, तो जनरली ऐसा हम महसूस करते हैं जनरली कि जब हम सुबह उठते हैं तो मन शांत होता है, फिर हम अपने काम में लग जाते हैं ना, बिजी हो जाते हैं। फिर रात को आते हैं तो अगर हम शांति से बैठे और मन शांत है तो उस समय भी कर सकते हो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
मैं तो सर डेली लास्ट 8 ईयर से 4:30 टू 5:30 तक विपश्यना करता हूँ कंपलसरी।
सुपर।
ठीक है। और बट वो विपश्यना करने के बावजूद भी मैं अग्रेसिव हूँ, अभी भी अग्रेसिव हूँ, बट जब से आपका सेशन चालू हुआ है तो एटलीस्ट उसमें 50-60% का एग्रेशन कम हुआ है।
अब
ऐसा
पूरा निकल जाएगा।
क्योंकि वो जो होता है ना जोश, वो जोश कम नहीं हो रहा है ऐसा। बट विपश्यना से तो फर्क पड़ा, बट आपके हिसाब से क्योंकि अपना एकदम टच आ गया ना एकदम से।
यस।
बट ह्यूमन टच बहुत जरूरी होता है कोई भी चीज में। नहीं तो अपन यूट्यूब वगैरह ये मैं 10 दिन जाता हूँ उधर, 10 दिन करके भी आता हूँ, बट घर में आने के बाद माहौल इधर का माहौल में मिक्स होने के बाद में वो थोड़ा मेसअप हो जाता है सारा।
वापस एवरीथिंग कम्स बैक।
మార్నింగ్ ఆ పిల్ల వస్తలేదు లేకపోతే వచ్చేటప్పుడే తీసుకుని వస్తాడు ఏ అంటారు.
Don't get me wrong. When we are talking about, being calm and peaceful, that doesn't mean that we don't have, we don't have inspiration, we don't have the passion. So that inspiration and passion is a must to make things happen, to achieve goals. Okay? लेकिन मन को स्ट्रेस में लाना जरूरी नहीं है उसके लिए. So basically that's what I'm trying to say. Okay? So we don't want to become so peaceful that we don't want to do anything. We are living in a real life and we want to make things happen. So we want to do it in a manner where our inspiration is there, where our passion is there. There's this whole thing about creating something, but not at the cost of your emotions, not at the cost of your body, your relationships, your office, your creativity, all of that. उसके cost में ये सब नहीं करना है. दैट वे व्हाट विल हैपन इज, आप कितना भी ग्रो करोगे, कितना भी अपनी कंपनी को ग्रो करोगे, आपके ऊपर असर नहीं होगा. नहीं तो क्या होता है, कुछ लोग अपने बिजनेस में इतने लग जाते हैं, बिजनेस तो ग्रो करते हैं लेकिन साथ में इसका सत्यानाश कर देते हैं, बॉडी का सत्यानाश, माइंड का सत्यानाश, रिश्तों का प्रॉब्लम. तो दैट इज नॉट व्हाट समथिंग वी वांट. ओके, ग्रोथ शुड नॉट बी अकम्पनीड विथ ऑल दीज challenges. We want to grow and also be happy in the entire process. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
भाई कुछ बोलना था? कुछ बोल रहे थे आप? हाथ ऊपर किया तो मुझे लगा कुछ आप बोल रहे हो.
अरे नहीं, it's always a good thing, new things to learn.
Okay.
The right process.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the
Thank you,
best.
sir.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye,
Thank you,
Lakshmi.
sir. Bye.
Bye bye.
बाय सर.
Bye. Bye bye.